Well, would you look at the time? We are here for Lady Arcadis on this fabulous December Sunday. And we're here for our Sunday edition of Attract Mode. Hello, I'm Rexy. You would normally end up seeing me on Radio Sega on a Sunday night, but I am taking a well-deserved break to end up being here this evening going through today's showcase. So, what is Lady Arcadis? Well, we are a whole bunch of collective, all focused on femininity. It's all women's gaming. So we welcome all women in gaming, speedrunners, developers, and casual fans alike. And in addition to our cozy private community, we run charity events throughout the year, as well as weekly showcases right here on our Twitch channel. So we've been having an amazing year so far, but how about we end up seeing what you end up making of 2023 selection in our own way. So if you're part of the Lady Arcadis community, then we would like to bring you towards the LA Game Awards. So, do you want to highlight a game from the past year that you loved? Then go for it. Type in !LA Awards, all one word, and go fill out the nomination form. This is the first time that we're holding these kind of awards, so you're more than welcome to suggest a category among everything else that I've been listed so far. Nominations are now open until next Monday, the 18th of December. On that note, time is starting to tick on. Well, we're ready to see GrayGooGirl go straight through tonight's showcase, which is the Chrono Trigger Jets of Time Randomizer any percent. So, let's take it away.
How's it going, folks? As stated, I am GrayGooGirl, and I'm going to be showing you Chrono Trigger, Jets of Time, randomizer. This is a full Chrono Trigger randomizer. It does a whole bunch of different stuff that we'll explain as we go along, so let me just get this ready to go. Just a couple little things here. Look at our starting characters, Robo and Chrono. Alright. And time will begin once we get control and the ship comes on the screen, so we can go through here real quick and just get that set up. So yeah, this is a very large randomizer. A lot of changes are made to the gameplay. It's very different from the casual experience, so as we go along, we'll explain more about some of those things. I'm also joined here with dijonketchup.
Hi, I am dijonketchup, and I am here for comms. I am a big fan of Chrono Trigger. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I played it so much as a kid that all of my files on my cartridge were, New Game Plus, all characters, almost max level. So, but I have never played the randomizer, so this is gonna be an experience.
Alright, and time can start now. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some Sphere Zero checks. Sphere Zero checks mean that they are checks we can do immediately, right at the start, that will let us get a couple of items, get started really quickly. First thing we're gonna do, if anyone's familiar with the casual run of this game, one of the late game quests is to go and fix up a manor, this manor over here. And to do that, we've got to talk to a guy and get him to give us some tools. Who's having too much quote-unquote soda at the, soda bar? What we'll call soda bar.
I would call it a milk bar if we're bringing in Zelda references.
Come on. Accidentally did the dialogue twice. Oh my goodness, there we go. Alright, so we're gonna talk to his wife. His wife is now gonna give us some tools, because he said we could have them. And it's definitely not gonna be tools, so every key item in this game is randomized, meaning that it's gonna give us something. And it gave us the bent hilt. That is a great segue into the next portion of this. As you can see on the item tracker on the side, there are a group of 9 items on the left side of the tracker. Those are the most important key items. They are what we need to enter Go mode. Actually, I should have stayed in 1080, alright. Anyway, if we get any 3 in a row there, that unlocks a Go mode, meaning we can go and then finish the game. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to immediately. If we get Go mode very early, we'll still do some other exploration, but the idea is if you can get any of those 3 items in a row from left to right, that will let us do one of those modes. So, stop at the snail shop real quick. We're going to buy another item that is just sort of sitting here for free. Ruby Knife. That is another Go mode item. That is for a completely different Go mode, though, so it doesn't really give us any progression. Do a little more purchasing real quick. Those, and a whole bunch of ethers. Alright, so from here we're gonna go and do something that's usually the first thing you do in any Chrono Trigger game, and that is go to the Cathedral in 600 AD.
Ah.
Yes, so it's the first place you go to. It's where it really introduces real combat, gives you a couple characters, and gets you started. Before we pop in there, we're going to talk to a guy at Xenon Bridge. This will be important for later. There are no rations going to the front lines, so we're going to have to figure out how to solve that problem, but we're not going to do that right now. Right now, we're going in here. Talk to her. That spawns in an item over here. Guardia pin sort of says that they've done a horrible thing in kidnapping the queen. And they're Naga, so we're gonna fight them.
Oh no, what a twist.
What a twist. Say, it's a pretty quick fight. Honestly, it's because of the nature of how early this fight is, it just takes a while. They also cast slow, so it's like this fight is designed to be prolonged. And it's, I mean, I get why they're doing it. They're trying to teach people how combat works, so if you slow down the entire contents of the fight, people can really think things through. It was a good bit of design.
Yeah, this part is like the second half of the first major quest.
Yep. So we're going right now, and in this cathedral, the queen has been kidnapped, and we are trying to save her. We really don't know that she's here. We suspect she's here. But we're doing this because one of our party members at the beginning of the vanilla game disappeared, because the timeline was altered, as it were.
I mean, normally it would have been Luca, but you don't have it yet. I wonder where she could be.
Yeah, it's Marl. When you go in the past, basically Marl gets thrown in the past. She is the descendant of the current queen. So her going in the past and them rescuing her makes them think they rescued the queen, and it's a whole big thing. And speaking of Marl, there she is. Normally Frog would be in this spot. Yeah, normally Frog would be in this spot, but in this case we've got Marl.
That's me already being a bit airheaded, thinking that it would be Luca getting kidnapped instead of Marl. Goes to show how long I played.
Marl's still talking like Frog, though.
Oh yeah, the dialogue stays the same. So it's, yeah, you get some fun stuff like some of them talking like Robo, talking like Frog. It's great. Alright, so we're just gonna play this organ over here, accidentally twice. Don't worry about it. And we're gonna go through this door. And that's gonna lead us into the back part of the cathedral, which is full of monsters! So we just gonna punch a bunch of stuff. This is the bulk of the game. A lot of it is relatively moderately paced combat. We are running at the second fastest combat speed, just because a lot of what we're entering are just auto attack commands. So the faster combat happens, the faster we can clear. Yay,
so why
speed
the
strats.
second speed rather than the absolute fastest?
The absolute fastest, trying to do any other commands that aren't auto attacks are a pretty substantial loss in time, because the enemies will act faster, substantially faster between 1 and 2. So our goal is to try and make it that it's fast, but not so fast that we are completely outclassed if we have to enter in commands.
Yeah, if you've ever played Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, you have to deal with weird speed stuff in that one too.
100%, yeah. The fact that we're running weight basically makes this act exactly like Final Fantasy IV.
I mean, this is the active time battle system that originated from Final Fantasy IV and has been refined over the years since, what, 5 years between them?
Yeah, I think they got rid of ATB in, I wanna say 10? 9 or 10.
I think it would be 10 because it had the sphere system, didn't it?
I think so? I don't know. It's one of the later FF games, though. And then they just sort of haven't looked back now they're doing, the real-time combat kind of stuff, which, love it or hate it, it's here to stay.
They did go back to a version of the ATB for Final Fantasy XIII, though, which
I liked.
Yeah, haters be damned, that's my favorite Final Fantasy.
13
But
was
I
not
also-
a bad game by any
There's
means.
also a lot of Final Fantasies that I admittedly have not played, but
Alright, so get some more equipment. We're gonna get the Naga Bromide, which these guys are very upset that we're taking. And with good cause. This bonus fight is actually, while on its face it's not that big of a deal, it gives us something very nice after we get through here. And I'll explain more about what those are once we use some of them. I don't think we're gonna do it for a little while yet.
so noticing that the normal enemies are all like the vanilla placement, is there an option to shuffle them, or is it like the manner that they appear on the overworld kind of make that hard to do?
I do not believe they currently have a process for doing that, and I don't believe they're working on one, just because it is very difficult to make things appear in different places. You'll see with some of the bosses how it breaks a lot of things. There are a handful of reasons for that, not just sprite limitations based on the size of the sprites, but also palette limitations.
Yeah.
That's where it starts to get really kind of hairy, because, I mean, it's still the SNES. The SNES does not have a ton of space for colors. Some more of that stuff. Actually, I should probably put that red katana on. I should probably equip some of the stuff I've been finding, because it's, like, decent equipment. Be a good idea.
Equipment good. I'm gonna...
Yeah, exactly. It's
a
probably a good
controversial
thing.
statement.
Alright, so we're gonna run around here, activate that switch. It's gonna take down some spikes on the floor. And we're gonna go, you guessed it, beat up some nerds.
Yeah.
Okay, so this fight should be pretty quick. These guys really aren't that much of a problem. We are gonna run into a boss fight in the near future. Oh, I saw a question about the flags that we're running. We are currently running the race flags with a few slight modifications. So race flags allow us to use Zeal 2 as the final boss, so if we go the Black Omen route, the final boss won't be Lavos. It allows us to get the early pendant, so by doing a certain thing, it'll allow us to activate the pendant substantially earlier than you would in the normal game. We are running randomized equipment, we are running randomized bosses, and we have the randomized key items, which is a standard staple of the seed. We have a couple of creature comforts turned on as well, specifically being able to see enemy health. It's not necessary for most cases, but it can help for gauging how long bosses are going to take to take down. That should cover the basics of it. I did have them written out somewhere, but I'm not going to go through the whole list. There's so many.
Referring back to Free Enterprise, not having enemy HP displayed makes it a fun guessing game on everything.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you're running any of the silly flags like Onomatopoeia.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's a thing. I've played more than my fair share of FF4 FE.
Yeah,
So
there are some people in that community who can, like, you know, remember how much HP each spot has and, like, count up in their head how much damage they're doing and how close they are, and I do not have that ability.
Oh, I can do a rough approximation for most cases for those things. Like, it's never perfect, but it's usually pretty close. But that just comes from doing seed after seed after seed. Oh, hey, we got the Lavos spawn. Is it the Elder spawn or the regular one? I mean, either one's going to be a pushover in this spot. We're actually in really good shape with this boss. It's the Elder one. Nice.
That's Yakra, alright.
Yeah. So normally this is the Yakra, who kidnapped the princess. In this case, we're fighting one of the endgame bosses right now, or one of the close to endgame bosses. Fortunately, all of the boss health is scaled, and this particular boss, their boss health and damage. So this particular boss is very focused on only using single attacks. If you attack the shell, it hurts really, really badly. So early game, we only have single attacks, makes things substantially easier. If Robo doesn't miss. What are you doing, Robo?
So I know you said it scales, and is it like Free Enterprise where each boss spot has a set HP number, or does it just scale down the HP or up in?
It's dynamic scaling, so it's basically going to be around the same for every boss that's in that spot. It's not going to be perfect. Some of them level a little more, some level a little less, but it's very well balanced at this point where you can know if it's this spot, it's going to be around 700 to 800 HP. So close, but not perfect. Also, Nova armor is a good find here. It's a late game armor, and it should have, I think that has Protect All on it. Reasonably sure it does. And that's good for our status effect protection. I'm gonna open this chest, but not the other one, because the other one contains the Chancellor. And we don't care about the Chancellor. Because he's actually a Yakuza in disguise. But that'll be revealed later. There are, in fact, a lot of spoilers through doing these runs, so those sorts of things pop up pretty frequently. So now that we've done that, we're going to go up to the Queen's Chamber over here. Actually, we're going to go back here and grab this chest. And the Queen's Chamber will have another character for us to pick up, the person who we would have lost in the vanilla story. And I really hope it's Magus, because that would give us a really solid party. It's Ayla. Okay, we'll take Ayla.
Well, you did say before the stream started that Ayla is very handy to have in a in anyone's party. Mostly
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, her strength ends up really making an impact despite her lack of use of magic. So great call all around.
Yeah, her she's got a lot of really strong physical. She's great as a starting character because of that. She does not scale as well as others because she has no equipment. Her fist gets stronger over time, but she can't, like, equip a late-game item right away, which can limit her utility at times. We're gonna do that. We're gonna get a free heal by doing this next thing. So we're gonna check what this item is, and we may or may not do Zen and Bridge right now. Gonna pop through here. And we're gonna open this chest and talk to this man who's running around with his butt on fire. His brother happens to be the guy who's running the lines down at Zen and Bridge. So we just informed him that there's no food down there. He's the king's chef, he's gonna send food. But in this case, instead of sending food, which is normally a piece of jerky, he's giving us a Dreamstone. A Dreamstone is another one of our main Go mode items. So all we need now is the gate key, and we can actually do Go mode already. But again, it's gonna be a lot slower than that. Go mode is only half the process. The other half is getting there. And a lot of those fights that the Go modes unlock tend to be very difficult. So it's going to be a matter of us doing a little bit of farming as well then, even if we get into early Go mode.
Okay, so the flag for having the giving the rations to them is set when you talk to the brother and not getting, like, the jerky from somewhere.
Yeah, so you can only get this key item from talking to the brother at the bridge, then talking to the brother in the actual kitchen. The jerky itself is still a key item, but it's no longer available via the snail shop.
Got it.
So you'll find it somewhere. I mean, every now and then it drops vanilla jerky in the snail shop, but not always. Also, that's a weird sentence, and I can't believe I just uttered that and it made sense. Vanilla jerky at the snail shop. Alright, so we're gonna go finish this off. We're gonna punch Ozzy a couple times. You can clear this two ways. You can clear the skeletons normally like you're supposed to, or if you punch Ozzy 3 times, the spell just breaks and you can move on. It was designed that way because these guys can only be hurt with magic, so they've built in a couple little side steps to avoid making not having magic a complete soft lock. And that comes more into play when you have duplicate characters, which is a thing we can't do for marathons, just for safety purposes. Marathons and events, it's just not safe to do that. They'll run over, most likely.
Yeah, if you had, like, 3 Islas, you'd be screwed if it wasn't for the Aussie failsafe.
I legitimately had a seed that had 5 of them.
Oh god.
It was 5 of them, Robo, and Magus. So it's like, it was great, because, like, the end party was fine, but at the start I had no magic for, like, 90% of the run. It was just, like, not 90%, like 60% of the run. Oh! Atropos XR. She's actually a relatively easy fight, so we kind of lucked out here. We're gonna roll a kick. Yeah, she's just a physical punching kind of fight, nothing really substantial to it. Worked out in our favor, definitely, because this fight can be very, very bad depending on who's there. We also have Confuse. It's a move that I'm not using. You might not see me using some of the higher-end moves right away, and mostly that's because of our lack of MP. Confuse, while being an incredibly powerful attack late game, allows you to do basically 4 regular attacks in a row. It uses 15 MP. We only have like 30 right now, so conserving that is pretty vital. Okay, so Atropos still has 500 HP, but we're in really good shape.
Fire the lasers.
Just as a side note, lasers in this game count as shadow damage, instead of light damage, which makes very little sense.
The elemental system in this game is all kinds of weird.
It's janky as heck, yeah, absolutely.
And it's even weirder, like, having played Pokemon for over 2 decades since this game came out.
Please survive this. Okay, cool, they all survived that. Awesome. That could have been bad.
Well, I mean, just seeing double digits from an explosion seems very quaint, but yes, the low HP on those sides made it feel very close, so nice survival.
Alright, so we're gonna grab this hotel real quick and get some health back. We desperately need it. Normally I would just use a shelter, but shelters are expensive. So we're gonna do that, get our health back. We're then going to go talk to a guy who wants that Nugget bromide. I don't know what he wants it for. I'm not asking. But this man's got a locked drawer over here. We talk to him again, and he offers to exchange whatever's in that drawer for that Nugget bromide. In this case, it is incredibly useful what we're going to get from him. And this is where we'll talk about the idea of stat tabs. There are power tabs, magic tabs, and speed tabs. You use them on respective characters to boost their stats. Ours are already a little bit stronger than the base game. So our power tabs give us +4 power, our magic tabs give us +2 magic, and our speed tabs give us +1 speed. Also, we're gonna buy we're buying a bunch of mid-tonics, and we're gonna sell a couple things. Extra red katanas, definitely. Sabers can be sold. We don't need 2 pearl edges. Yeah, we got money now. That's good. So we've got, like, all of the base stuff we need, really, to complete the game from a healing item perspective. What does our tech look like right now? We have no regular magic kind of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna go up the mountain instead of going and doing the desert. Yeah, the only problem with getting some of these, like, really strong go mode items is they don't actually give us progression until we have all of them. So it's a thing. So hopefully we'll get some like actual progression items through this area up here. And those items are on the right side of that. So there's like the complete Masamune, which is actually the Grand Leon in this. The Hero Badge, the Rainbow Shell, the Moonstone / Sunstone, and a few other miscellaneous items. Each one of these, and also some of the ones that are on the progression side do actually give you direct progression, such as the pendant. It will give you progression into certain aspects of the story. Put it that way. Yeah, so now it's mostly just going through this and getting to the top, seeing what item is up there, and looting along the way. Most of this game is just going to be that, where it's running through dungeons, opening every chest you can possibly see, and avoiding as many fights as possible.
So, basically every randomizer.
Yep, every RPG rando out there is basically the same way. Can you avoid the fight? Yes, then you should avoid the fight. Can you not avoid the fight? Yeah, do it.
Yeah, the trigger zones are kind of weirdly defined in this game. And so sometimes you can get past something that you wouldn't think you could. Sometimes you can be in a different zip code and they'll see you.
Yep. There's a couple, specifically in Tyranno Lair, there's a ton of them that are like that, where if you follow a certain set of lines, you can absolutely bypass a bunch of stuff. We're also going to bypass, I think, 4 auto fights by doing one really, really quick button press. It's not even finicky, I just have to hold a button between a transition. And I'll call that out when we get there. And to be clear as well, these all work in the vanilla game. So if you can bypass it in this, you can bypass it that way in the vanilla game. They made no changes to the process.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed tech that carries over. We do have glitches disabled for this because there are certain glitches that really break this game. Ooh, another shelter.
Yeah.
Shelters are good. They are expensive though.
And the
Another
fun thing about
Sorry, go ahead.
old RPGs is there's so much going on behind the scenes that you could pretty easily break a lot of them.
Yeah, RPGs are among the most fragile games out there for speed games. In this one of the most notorious ones is being able to save anywhere. Absolutely destroys this game. There's a glitch you can do where if you go through a door and you have the ability to save while going through the door, it basically lets you then save forever anywhere. And that breaks a ton of the scripted events. So we're gonna punch these guys down. Hoping this would be a little faster, but we don't really have the equipment to do this quickly. Still waiting on getting a better fist weapon for Robo and for Ayla to power up a little bit. Now, while we have a bunch of those stat tabs, we're not going to use them until we really solidify our party. I think we're kind of leaning towards Robo being healer, Chrono being DPS, and swapping out Ayla for Magus once we find him. But that's currently where we're at right now. This party's still pretty solid. I would be able to clear the game with this party. It's just a lot better when you have Magus who can do all of the damage types.
Yeah. Magus is, when you get him in the vanilla game, you generally don't want to not use him.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible. The problem, too, is you get him, like, really, really late in the game, so that does cause some substantial issues in that he has to unlock all of his tech, which will basically requires you to grind out a bunch of tech points. It's not ideal. But if you've got a party that's well-suited and you don't necessarily need him, then you can kind of skip over that, but for the most part, you're going to want to use him for a casual playthrough for the first time.
Yeah. Plus, if you're playing, for the first time, you can accidentally not get him.
That was us doing the skip to bypass 4 auto fights.
Nice.
Real quick little thing. Oh, we're gonna put this on. Frenzy Band is great. It causes you to auto-attack if you're attacked. In this case, it's a 90% chance, so you definitely want it for your auto-attacker. Your main attacker, rather. Regular attack there. Fine. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do this fight twice. There are 2 chests that we can only access by going back down. Like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's not that big of a deal.
And so, since you have the epoch unlocked from the start, I'm assuming that means you can travel to all the times at will from the beginning?
Nope. There's a lock on that. So the way it's set up is, at the start of the game, you can only go to 1080 and 680. Basically what you would normally have at the start of the game. by doing the events that would unlock those times in the story, like going to the future through the trial, or using the gate key in Medina Village to go to the past.
Got it.
That'll open up some of those time frames.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was, like, free travel or not, because I know, again, going back to Free Enterprise as my example, you have to unlock the underground to go down there, and you have to get the whale to go to the moon.
As I understand, Free Enterprise was a large inspiration for this, so it takes a lot of the elements from that.
I feel like Free Enterprise has been an inspiration to a lot of RPG randomizers, because I mean, that's a pretty common setup.
We just annoyed this guy into giving us a magic tab. Mountains are nice. Yeah, that's very true. There are a lot of them that have gotten inspiration from Free Enterprise because of the type of game it is. It really opened up the idea of what you can do with RPG randomization. Alright, so we're gonna wait here for this guy to throw a rock at us. As it turns out, it's a special rock. It's the white rock. Actually, I want to see what the white rock does, because I think the white rock is not useful to him. Robo's the white rock? No. Oh, there's the white rock. Power and strength plus 10. We'll take it.
Nice.
Heck freaking yeah. So they added little bonuses so that you can use the triple tech rocks without actually losing out on an accessory slot a bit. We'll explain that in a little bit. If you're not familiar with the way this game works, there are techniques that can be used between more than one character. So if you've got, say, Chrono and Robo, they can use two of their abilities together to make a unique dual tech ability. Same thing works for triple techs, where there's 3 characters that work together to make these things happen. In this case, some of them are only accessible with these very specific hidden items that are hard to get in the vanilla game. Right, we still don't have Heal Beam. That's gonna make healing a problem. We're gonna take a turn and everyone's gonna use a mid-tonic, because I don't want to go into the next fight without stuff. Seems like a bad idea.
It is genuinely recommended to keep your characters alive.
Yeah, not being dead is a really good way for them to do damage.
Yeah. This one's... It's not like Free Enterprise, where you want to keep someone down to be your anchor.
Oh yeah. I mean, we all know Tella. That's his purpose.
And Eddie.
Oh, and Eddie, yeah. Actually, I have an emote on my channel that is Tella in his passed out pose.
I use the passed out Edward on Discord a lot. I have a perler that I made that's hanging on my wall of young Rydia on the floor.
Oh, speaking of FF4 and artwork, I have on my wall right now a cross-stitch that I commissioned from our friend Eliza. That is the sprite from my FF4 run from Frost Vitalis 2023. It's the Zeroma sprite, which absolutely
Nice.
fantastic. Love that thing, but it's such a cool little memento.
Yeah, Scala does great work on a lot of boss sprites.
Yeah, that Frost sprite is incredible.
Yeah, there was another Faith one for, what was it? Flame 22, I think. When me and Asuka ran.
Yeah, that's the Faith the Mess, which is absolutely awesome. Okay, this is not good. Robo being down is not fun. We gotta revive. We're gonna bring him back. The Mega Mutant is not a fun thing to fight. Also, without status protections, it can get kinda hairy.
I like that Masa and Moon combined into an enemy with 2 targets.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. They originally had it set up that you could only do, that when you get these bosses, they would be similar in number. That's part of why Dragon Tank was so hard for them to find a place to port over to, because there's only a couple that have 3.
Yeah.
And Dragon Tank also uses part of the sprite, part of the background for the sprite, which is a whole big thing.
Oh yeah, that's sprite limitations.
Yeah. Oh, this
Oh,
is. I think we might be in trouble here.
Which makes me wonder, how do they handle the Black Tyranno in this?
Oh, you'll see. It's fun.
Okay.
Okay, we're just kind of stuck doing auto attacks right now, which is not great. See if we can attack the bottom a little more easily. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So we're gonna do a quick reset on this, and pick up where we last left off. So I grabbed a save up here. I'm gonna make one quick change to the process a little bit. Specifically, I'm gonna double down on Chrono being our main DPSer. Yep. Or I'll toss it. Or I'll toss a power tab on Robo. It's fine. Let's not worry about that. That totally intended to do that. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
We're gonna pop a shelter as well, so we can get everyone back up to full. Do that, and resave. So, still gonna be useful, they're still gonna be punching anyway. This... We gotta do the Masa and Mune fight again. And the lack of healing is really what's hurting us right now. I mean, they have no real strong healing, like, even... Typically, Ayla has Kiss early on as well. I didn't grab the White Rock, did I? Come on, give me the White Rock. Okay, you just want to play nicely. We're gonna reset and we're gonna get the White Rock, because...
Well,
okay, cool.
Now Chrono can have all the... Oh wait, no, you saved after you doing that.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's fine. It's not a big deal. Again, they're just tabs. They're useful, but they're not, like, game-breaking if we don't put them in the right place, or we use one out of place.
Everything's fine, nothing is ruined.
There we go. White Rock is only if it's the second one, I think. It's super finicky whether or not it gives you the White Rock. That. Avoid triggering those guys. Over there. Equip White Rock on her. Equip the Lumen Robe and the Ceratopper, which she probably should have had on to begin with. Yeah, we're gonna... This will be slightly different. I did not equip some equipment I should have equipped. Usually it's not a big deal, but sometimes it can be a little, yeah. Sometimes equipment makes all the difference, especially in these early fights. Yeah, we're just gonna do auto attacks on Masa and Mune. There's not much else we can really do about that. Ooh, critical.
One thing that's always fun, when playing, through vanilla is, naming, Marl Nadia, and naming Frog Glenn, because it makes for some unintentionally funny dialogue.
Oh, very much so. I also rename Robo R-66Y.
Yeah.
And I also named Magus Janice for the same reason.
That's not a suitable name for a robot.
Here's the name you just gave us. But it wasn't suitable. It's kind of funny. I did that on my very first playthrough of the game, and saw the dialogue. It's also where you learn that the SNES version has a typo. His name is given as R66-Y. But when you see the serial numbers of the other robots later in the fight, the one fight, it shows you that they transposed the hyphen in the wrong spot.
Huh, I've never noticed that.
Yep, so it's actually supposed to be R hyphen and then the number and then the Y. Yeah, so this is what happens when we're not locked out of our skills. I think we're going to be locked out of our skills now. But we got some of those early hits off, that's going to make a huge difference. Chrono, why for you have to die, man? It's not...
I mean, you've played through this game.
Why? Why? Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Oh, now I'm sad.
Oh.
Now, this story has an excellent... This game has an excellent story, and one that will absolutely tug at your heartstrings, even in the year of our Lord 2023.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent. Oh, him dying actually was a good thing. Let's just too confused again. I mean, in this instance. Yeah, we're gonna just use a whole bunch of mid-tonics to keep everyone up. This is part of why I bought a ton of ethers and a ton of mid-tonics. Come on. The Mega Mutant is, it evades a lot. It's got a pretty high evasion.
I was more like thinking if Robo had a high hit ratio as in a Berserker, but I guess that's not the case.
There is a hit stat for everybody. Namely, Robo and Frog tend to be the lowest. So like, it's pretty common to see Robo and Frog miss. Not so much Chrono, that's more to do with the boss than anything else. Alright, Robo, heal yourself up, buddy. This Mega Mutant is a pretty bad placement for us. And sorry about the bar, this is one of the problems with Chrono Trigger, is they wanted to have a very big, expansive play area, and then realized the bar covers a large portion of it. So we either can see our characters, or we can see the boss, but not both at the same time for this particular fight. This is also not the fight that's supposed to be happening in this room, so that makes a bit of a difference. But we're almost done. I think we got this in the bag.
Yeah, it looks like you're getting there.
Yeah, a little bit of tweaking here and there, and that's kind of necessary for this particular game as well, because these randomized boss locations are a problem.
Cole is... Oh.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Picole just mentioned what does Jets of Time mean in the title, and in all honesty, I don't have a good answer for that. I could say the randomizer it was first based on was called Wings of Time, and I can only assume that Jets of Time is a reference to Johnny and the jet bike in the future. That's all I've got on that.
See, my assumption was that Jets of Time was, like, the epoch is a jet.
Very well
and
could be.
And it travels through time, and you start with it. Kind of like Free Enterprise is named that way because you start with the Enterprise.
Where was that Megaton hammer like 10 minutes ago? But yeah, that's entirely possible too. I don't directly know off the top of my head why they picked that name, but it's a cool name. It works really well.
Yeah.
And this is a good reminder, they finally got their web version of it set up too, so you don't actually have to download and run a command line executable to get randomized Jets of Time things anymore. You just go to their website and fill out all the stuff, and it'll generate a seed for you.
Oh, it was all command line?
The original was CL as a command line, yeah. And that's Go mode.
Oh.
We have a Go mode that we can do. We're not going to, because it's way the heck too early.
I was gonna say, that's like equivalent to just jumping straight into the bucket.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We are, however, going to use the gate key to take care of some loose ends right now. Some stuff that needs dealing with. So we're gonna go to Medina Village. Medina Village is a thing you find after you go to the future in this game. We're gonna do two things very quickly with this. Step over to the Eldritch House, we're gonna grab a couple tabs that are just kind of sitting out in the open. Because of reasons. They're here, we're gonna grab them.
They're here, we're queer, we'll use them.
Heck frickin' yeah. Oh, actually, we're not getting back here. We're going in here! This is a residence in Medina Village. This cabinet leads to, 65 million BC. Ayla's time, as it were.
Like, the very first time I played this, like, way back in the day, just, like, that... just hopping out of the portal, out of the cabinet, was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's super neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going back in there, and this is not going to take us back to that cabinet. This is going to take us to the end of time. So this is one of two ways you can get to the end of time. And that's the Gasper, the prophet at the end of time. He explains just some stuff about the game. Bucket's still locked because we haven't unlocked it yet. And that's going to give us a heal. We've got a save point. We also are going to go see my favorite character in the entirety of this game. And his name is Jolly Ol' Specchio. His appearance is based entirely on how strong you are in comparison to him at the time. So he looks weak because we're not really that strong. He will get stronger as we go along. He also unlocks magic for all of your characters when they get there, so you have to talk to him to get Chrono's magic, which means he can learn more than the first 3 techs that he can normally learn. There are 4 characters that have magic locked, Luca, Frog, Chrono, and Marl. So once you get them, it's really good to talk to him because he automatically unlocks the first 3 techs and allows you to continue unlocking techs after that. It's incredibly important to do.
In the vanilla game, doing this, like, circle around the room is the biggest pain because, like, it is very picky about what is considered being, like, in that circle it wants you to go.
I will tell you, I did not count. Oh, crap, I didn't want to fight him. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't think we can win this fight. In fact, I'm reasonably sure we can't because we don't have any magic attacks. So, we're just going to sit here and wait for him to do his thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about running around the circle. So the circle is really weird about how it calculates things, as Dijon was saying. So, you go around the outside, you're supposed to go 3 times. If you don't go a little bit over, then it doesn't count. And I was lucky there. I didn't count it all, and I managed to get it right. So that was absolute luck. I wasn't sure if I'd gone 3 or not. But yeah, it's one of those things where the first time you do it, you're like, oh, I'll just go 3 times around. You go around the circle on the inside, and it's like, nope, do it again. And after the 6th time, you're just like, I'm gonna stand as far out as I possibly can and walk the whole way to finally get it.
Yeah, you made it look a lot easier than it is.
Just years and years of doing that. I've played this game once a year since its release. I'm a huge fan of the game. It's one of the reasons why I was able to pick up this randomizer so quickly, is because I've done so much of this game.
Yeah, it's been a little while since the last time I played it.
I will say, if you have the means to, the DS version of this game is the best version. I will not be taking comments on that.
The DS version is also the only version released legit in Europe, so you've also got that going up there as well.
Yeah, so the DS version has all of the benefits of the stuff the PlayStation version built out. It has some additional content that is, it's mediocre. A weird, like, pet-based combat thing that nobody asked for. But most importantly, it doesn't have the load times that the PSX had, because the PSX version takes forever to load.
And it has to load, it's poorly optimized, so it has to load every time you open the menu, and every time you close the menu.
That sounds like my problems with that sounds like my problems with PS1 Final Fantasy VI as well, much as I enjoyed going through the ride.
Yup, that was the biggest problem, is it takes so long for the things to load, especially combat. Like, combat just takes an eternity to load in the PSX version.
Yeah,
I know, I've played through it many times.
Yeah, those PS1 ports of the Final Fantasy games and Chrono Trigger just not optimized well for loading. Although, you don't notice it as much if you're playing like FF1 because it's just a lot simpler.
As Okapi mentioned, there's also an updated translation, so it does change a couple things. I think the weapon name changes are overall good. They had more space to work with, so the names could be a little more complicated. But there are some like dialogue choices they made that were not the best. I'll full well admit that, but it still conveys the story the way it's supposed to. It keeps it in a way that I think is usable. It's not the best.
Yeah.
The best translation was the first translation, but it's
it,
also a little whitewashed with the era that it was released in as well, hence the soda rather than saying it was an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. Good old Ted Woolsey.
Yep, same
Who
reason
did-
why Dragon Ball had so many soda cans in it.
Well, I mean, he did give us the great, call out that was the Spoony Bard, so we can't go wrong with that.
Well, that was pre-Ted Woolsey.
Oh, okay. Well, goes to show what I know.
Yeah.
Please don't throw none of Dayla. Okay. Alright. We need to get these apes down as fast as possible, because they are just wrecking shop.
Although I do think future ports of Final Fantasy IV that had different translations mostly keep the Spoony Bard line.
It's too iconic. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
I have it on a shirt.
Okay, so Robo's down. I think we'll be fine. I hope we'll be fine. It's fine. There we go.
Everything's fine, nothing is ruined.
Exactly. Everything is fine. There's no reason to worry. I swear everything's fine. I'm not panicking, you're panicking.
Just don't pour Mountain Dew all over the workstation.
Mountain Dew. Wow, this is like the never-ending bottle of soda. I watched a lot of Homestar Runner.
Homestar 10. Homestar10.net. It's .com.
I'm totally not marzipan.
This is exactly how all Chrono Trigger runs go. Eventually, it just evolves into commentary about Homestar Runner. Always.
I mean, those of us who grew up with this game also ended up growing up later with Homestar Runner. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Shaped a lot of people's formative years, for the better or for the worse. Hey, we found a frog. We're gonna unlock Frog's magic, and I'm gonna see if he's got heal. Because if he does, he's gonna replace our robot, whom I am becoming increasingly less enamored with as time goes on. So we're gonna shoot back to the back to the end of time, which I guess is the future and the past at the same time. I don't know. This is where y'all just everybody just goes cross-eyed and forgets what's going on.
Just go 88 miles per hour. But yeah, like in the vanilla game, it's been a little while, but if I remember correctly, you first get to the end of time when you have like 4 characters on you and they all jump into the portal at the same time, but since you can only have 3 characters, it brings you here.
Yep, according to the story of the game, having more than 3 people in the portal sends you to the point of least resistance, which is the end of time. That's how Casper explains it.
So it's like the Houlihan room, but canon and necessary to the story.
Yeah, a little bit, something like that. Let's get Robo back in here and see if Robo's on the verge of learning Heal Beam. Oh, actually, he had Heal Beam. Never mind. We're keeping the robot. Robot is good, robot is great, we're keeping the robot. We are going to go back to 1000 AD now, and we're going to go clear the Heckran Cave. And we're doing that, because that's actually a Sphere Zero check we didn't grab. We didn't grab it because we had other stuff to check, but this seems like a better place than going further into the past, so we're gonna do that. We still don't have any real magic, and that's kind of a problem? Or else it would be if we couldn't just run away from all of this stuff.
In the vanilla game, you can name the epoch, so it's fun to name it the Tupac. Yeah, but the original SNES version limits you to 5 characters for the name of anything that you name. Because just like with Final Fantasy IV, they didn't really adjust the space for English text as opposed to Japanese text, which Japanese text takes up a lot less space because just words and stuff are made of like symbols. I don't really know a better way to explain it because I don't actually know Japanese. But
the technical term for that is the information density of the language. So Japanese is a much more info-dense language in that you can convey more with fewer characters, because katakana and kanji are so complicated. So it's much harder to learn, but it's also a substantially more efficient way to communicate as far as like text is concerned.
But yeah, so a lot of these SNES RPGs that they localized, they didn't change all of that, which is why you see a lot of abbreviated stuff, and why you can only name your characters with 5 characters. Which
yeah, Chrono's name is supposed to have an H in it.
Yeah, it's made even funnier because Chrono is not spelled like the game's title.
Yeah.
And
there are fan mods for this game that actually add in a 6th character spot for names just to fix that for Chrono's name.
Yeah, and the DS version, completely overhauls all that. Like, for one, the bar is like on the bottom screen instead of on the top, and like the font is smaller, but still readable on a DS, and so things fit better.
Yep. Substantially better. I mean, the game itself does have a, it is just a lower resolution than you would have on a standard TV. That wasn't standard 4.3. But it's still very, very good, very playable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that noticeable. I've played through both of them side by side, and it's very similar. There's just slight changes here and there. But it is a very faithful recreation.
Indeed.
Alright, so who's in Hecaran's spot? Oh, it's Nizbal. Not Nizbal 2. Damn it. Okay. This just got very complicated. I don't think we can do this. Nizbal's got 2,500 health.
Oof. Yeah, that's...
Alright, let's see how much we're doing per punch. No, okay. Yeah, we don't have any magic, so we can't do this.
I mean, this guy's rough in vanilla sometimes, so...
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna check a quick thing. And I really should have unlocked magic on Marl. That was on me. Didn't think about it, because I don't typically have to do this. Rod, did you get water 1? Please tell me you got water... No. Nope. No, you didn't.
Rip.
How close is lightning 2? 49 points. Not really doable. Alright, so we're gonna go back the way we came. Because this is basically unkillable. So Nizbal 2 needs to be killed with magic. He is one of 2 bosses that absolutely need to be killed with magic. If it was Nizbal 1, we could physically attack through it, but we can't. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go grab Marl, we're gonna go talk to Specchio, and see if we can get Marl to use... I think Marl has Ice... Wait, does Marl have Ice 1? Hold on. That's a thing I probably should have checked. We might actually be able to do this. Ah, we do. We have Ice 1 and Ice 2. We're gonna do that then. Don't mind the resets. They are just gonna happen frequently.
That's
randomizers for you.
yeah.
Alright, so we are gonna swap out Ayla for Marl. Marl's gonna use Ice 2 to kill Nizbal. This is probably gonna take a minute. She's still only gonna do a couple hundred a hit, so...
Yeah. Speaking of taking a minute, we are getting close to the first hour if you want to, like, get to a point where you can pause.
Yeah, let me just finish this fight, and then we will, as soon as we're spit out, we'll take a break there. That should be probably about, like, 3-4 minutes, if that. Probably not, I mean, we're doing 500 a hit, so we're fine.
Awesome.
So, 4 more of these.
Self-care is good.
Yes, get up, stretch, get a drink, hydrate. Always a good thing. Yeah, so far the seed hasn't been completely cursed. We got a go mode, but we are getting a little hosed in certain aspects. A little bit. I've certainly had worse seeds, put it that way.
Sorry if you heard the sounds of me drinking water there. I forgot to mute my mic.
But never apologize for hydration.
As one of my former coworkers said, hydrate or dihydrate, as she was carrying a giant glass of water to the host stand, and then the GM came out and said, "You can't have that there."
That seems like, yeah, telling your workers they can't have water at a thing like that seems like a bad idea. But that's, yeah.
We were allowed to, like, go to the kitchen and drink water, or, like, have a water bottle in the cabinet. They just didn't want, like, cups
a glass sitting there on the
sitting around.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, there's Nizbal 2. I'm glad Nizbal's out of the pool now. Because Nizbal 2 is terrible. Yeah, the only things I fear right now are Gigagaya and Flea 2. Flea Plus is real hard, especially for... Well, we're not gonna... Oh no, we are gonna be doing Ocean Palace, so we're gonna have the fun duo fight. And I think that's a good point where we can take a break then.
Alright.
Alright then. That's been a great first hour, but make sure to end up keeping it locked right here on Lady Arcaders. We will be back in a few moments. So, get hydrated, and we'll be with you real soon. Would you look at the time again? Hopefully everyone has been fully rehydrated as we're ready to splash back down to GrayGooGirl and the journey through the Chrono Trigger Jets of Time Randomizer.
Alrighty. So, yeah, we just finished the Hecarim Cave. We're gonna go collect our item from that. So we're gonna talk to Tobin over here, and he's gonna give us a Moonstone. We cannot finish the Moonstone right now, unfortunately.
We don't have much fairy to evolve.
Yeah, no, we don't have any fairy Pokemon in the party right now. I will probably hunt for one later, but we'll see if that happens. It's fine.
Cool.
We're gonna pop back to the past then, and we're gonna drop that in the cave where it normally sits. So, Moonstone takes roughly 65 million years to charge, coincidentally, when you put it in a spot where there is permanent sunlight, which is physically impossible, but it's fine, don't worry about it. This cave has special sunlight that's always available forever. So we're gonna drop the Moonstone. We're gonna wait half a second, because it's real finicky about not actually putting the Moonstone down. We're gonna pop back in and make sure it's there. And it is, good, perfect. Trust me, there's multiple times I've like had to go back and do this several times to make sure it actually dropped where it was supposed to.
Congratulations, you made Gen 7.
Exactly. We're just moving on up. Alright, so we're gonna pop in through here. There are holes in the floor. We could wait for the Weevils to dig more of them, but they lead to just some possible random treasure, and they aren't worth it, so we're not gonna do it. And, it could be that moonlight also counts as sunlight, because they are the same thing.
Yeah, the moonlight is literally just reflected sunlight.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Alright, so we're gonna beat these Weevils up. Evil Weevil! Some of the names for the enemies in this are amazing.
You're fighting the University of Arkansas, Monticello.
No, I'm imagining them just wanting to someday ride on motorbikes and perform stunts.
Evil Coeval.
Pretty much.
That's great. Alright, this is another situation in which magic is definitely required, because these things do not take a lot of physical damage unless they've been shocked. Sorry, go on. Were you gonna say something? Or...
I think I was, but now I forgot what it was.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I have a tendency to talk over people at times, so... Sorry.
I mean, I have the memory span of a goldfish, so...
So, get the tonic. We don't want to aggro these things, but they're also really crazy annoying. Okay, fine. It's fine. We'll just ice 2 these things down. Really, Marl is just going to be our magic person for the moment, until we get someone better. Marl has a place in parties as being, like, the person who does haste. The only person in the game that can cast haste. Which is great. It's also just, it comes way too late, and usually by that time you've got equipment that can do haste already. So.
Should have been hastier.
Yeah, it's a little bit quicker. Pop in here, not pull those guys. Still gonna pull this one anyway. Toss an ether on Marl. No, she's gonna be not with us anymore. Okay. She's gonna take a nap.
Oh, great, now another ancestor we have to save.
Yeah, we gotta go back further now. It's a whole big thing. Let's give her some ether. Because ether solves everything, clearly. Mid-tonics. And what else we gotta get her some decent equipment. That's why she's being taken down so quickly. That is much better for her. And where's the magic? Magic ring, there we go. Gonna fight these guys. More reptites, more megasars. Yeah, we're really hurting for a weapon for Chrono right now. That ruby sword is just not cutting it, as it were. These are the jokes. But yeah, we need to get him a better weapon. Ideally, we're gonna find something with a rainbow property on it, but that's not gonna necessarily be for a little bit. So that covers the, so there are incredibly powerful weapons in this game that have very specific bonuses on them. Rainbow is, without a doubt, the best. It gives it a 90% crit chance and, like, a higher damage threshold. So it's basically constant crits for regular auto attacks. Super good. There's Doom, which, if a character is down, it causes the weapon to do a lot more damage. There's Wonder, that causes it to do randomized damage based on, oh, this is Giga Gaia, isn't it? Yep, this is Giga Gaia.
Nice, tiles.
Yeah, Giga Gaia is also part of the background, so it looks a little jammed.
Oh.
Yeah, so those are the only sprites that are used for Giga Gaia. The rest of it is actually stage background. That they swap in when the boss spawns in.
Hilarious. It's not very Giga anymore.
No, definitely Gaia, though.
Man,
This is gonna be a tough fight. We need to Ice 2 and Heal Beam. And hopefully Heal Beam will do enough healing that we can just spam that the entire time. Yeah, Heal Beam is very useful. AoE heals in this game are absolutely incredible. One for hand, but that's fine. Hopefully we'll break one of the hands, that'll make this a lot easier. Excellent.
You know, I'm
Okay,
actually
perfect.
curious if you end up running into the actual body of Giga Gaia. I'm curious to see what would end up spawning in what would have been its face.
The background body, they corrected for that, so if something else spawns in Giga Guy's room, nothing spawns in the background. But, yeah, it's... Definitely, it looks really funky without having everything sort of settled.
yeah, some of these things, it seems like, be really difficult to move them around properly, because unlike a lot of other RPGs that have randomizers, everything just happens on the overworld.
Yeah, and that's part of the charm, I will say, of this game, is that it was very cinematic and very... The sprites were very detailed, there's a lot of it that goes into making it look, yeah, really in-depth and detailed. And doing that in the overworld projection area is, yeah, it does have its severe limitations. Alright, Giga Gaia was actually cooperative today.
Nice.
Those
Yeah, I
hands
can't
can
believe-
be terrible.
Can't believe Squaresoft didn't, consider the people 20 years in the future who would be messing with this game.
I know, right? Like, you'd think they'd have at least a little bit of a modicum of, Oh, Prism Shard! Okay, so we can do the trial. We're gonna do the trial. Heal everyone up real quick, and we are gonna put on that Slasher, because that Slasher's only slightly better. Okay, well, I was hoping it'd be a higher damage, but... It's not. Sad face. Alright, we're gonna resort to a thing I don't love doing, like looking at shops for stuff. Demon Edge. Yeah, we'll buy one of those. That's gonna be better than the Slasher that we were using. Not by a lot, but it should actually still do 1.5 times for magic enemies, which is nice.
Demon Ed!
The Demon Ed! Demon Ed knows
making
what
me
he
imag-
did.
You're making me imagine that one gif from Ed, and Eddie, where Ed is just running around with his neck just like bending behind him, like
I love that.
That show
That's
was
great.
so good.
The show is better than it had any right to be. Alright,
I
we're gonna
saw
have to
it.
save here.
I saw at the store the other day a complete series DVD of Ed, Edd and Eddy, and it's like Cartoon Network rarely puts out DVDs of those shows, so that's... They also had the complete series of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, it's great. All those old, the old Cartoon Network cartoons were great. Alright, I did not make a mistake. The wrong castle was there. I swear that I didn't cause that. So we're gonna go back to the past, and we are going to go talk to the king. Now that we've got the Prism Shard, that's our evidence that we found the Rainbow Shell. Which is another sort of key moment in the late game. So he's gonna offer to store the shell in the National Storage whatever. Now if we go into the future, we're gonna find that the king's on trial. For supposedly stealing and selling the Rainbow Shell. Which just doesn't happen unless you talk to the king there. Again, temporal dynamics, we did something in the past that affects the future.
There are so many trials in this game.
Yeah, there's two of them, and they're, like, detailed. There's a courtroom.
If I had a nickel for every time there was a court scene in this game, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Alright, I'm gonna grab another save out here, just as a backup. We're actually going to be utilizing something in the beta branch of the game right now, so we are actually playing on the beta release of the next version of the game that has some additional stuff in it. one of those additional things is that we're able to skip doing the go upstairs and view part of the trial thing first. We can just go in here. Oh, we get a gloom cap, which is great because it's got protect all, and that'll be good for Magus when we get him. Oh, almost got clipped by that. But we can go down here and we can find the item that is... Ooh, a wall helm. That'll be nice. Find out what item this is before actually going through and doing all the work. And it is... Crisis Mune. Alright, never mind. That's absolute garbage. It's so garbage, in fact, we're just not gonna do it. It's basically the Grand Leon or the Masamune. But it's got Crisis on it, and Crisis is the worst of all the bonuses. So, we're just gonna skip it. We're gonna skip it, y'all.
Skip it. Skip it good.
Yeah, we're gonna go do a different one then, and we're gonna go down here, and we're gonna help Fiona, restore the forest.
Well, you have Verbos, so this is just child's play.
Yeah, so we're gonna go in here. We are going to avoid most of these fights, because these fights are not fun. Although we do have Marley, which makes this really, really easy. Her water attacks do a lot of damage against these monsters. So if we had water 2 or ice 2, these will just blow up immediately. We'll see what boss is down here. It's not necessarily going to be that bad. Get some XP, get some another demon hit, which is a frog sword, which is also it's okay. But it's -3, which means it's lost some stats. I should explain the point system in this for how randomization works. All gear is between +5 and -5. -5, it is a lot weaker than it normally is, means it's lost any of its major special benefits, it does less damage. +5 means it's got a really, really powerful bonus on it, along with regular stat boosts on it. So, plus weapon's good, minus weapon's bad. Question mark accessories are, it's a mixed bag. It means it's swapped out the property for something else that is roughly equivalent. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not good. I don't have any question mark accessories on me at the moment to illustrate that, but yeah, it's... Okay, oh, Pearl Edge is actually really good, but I think we already have one of those, though. Just double check to make sure we're using the best stuff we can. Air Tap, which is 2 power, that's fine. What about for these? We could use a power seal on him for... Yeah, I think it's better than the Frenzy Band right now. Alright, let's check this boss out, see who's here to fight. Oh, it's Magus, but not the bad Magus. The substantially easier Magus.
That's the one who pretty much like, hey, I am losing all hope, just finish me, will you?
It's
the one that's
the
like
Magus...
at 12,000 BC, right?
Yes, it is the Magus from the end of the game, where he doesn't have all of his special properties where he'll force you to do a spell that matches the spell he just cast, which is a pain in the butt. Especially if you don't have a whole bunch of different magic types. He will, however, spam pretty strong magic attacks.
So this one's the Magus that you fight if you choose not to have him in your party, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to double check, because it's been a while. It's been
1 week since you looked at me. Yes, I can see where you're coming from.
It took all of my strength to not start singing that. Alright, so that's like, we have Magus at home, Magus done. It's Magus, but not really. It's Mega Man 7, that's what it is. I'm gonna rile up so many people saying that. Another power tab. Ooh, Sight Cap is really, really useful. So, at the end of the game, there's only one status that really matters, and that's Chaos. Because Chaos stops you from attacking, and makes your character attack other party members. Having protection from that is incredibly important, so Sight Caps are awesome to find. Alright, so now Robo is simultaneously in the ship and tilling that field. Which not see somebody has to. Alright, so we're gonna...
Peace was never an option.
Peace was never an option. That's gotta be a little freaky for Robo, pulling back his own, 400-year-old robot corpse. Don't think too hard about it. It's fine. Okay, we got the clone. Clone is part of a completely different Go mode that we have no pieces of. Alright, so at this point, our progression path is... It looks to me that our solo progression path is going to Tyranno Lair. So we're gonna have to do that. We don't have access to the future. Let me just double check that we don't have access to the future, just for my own edification. Disembark, because I don't think we can reach any of the future locations from here until we've got the pendant. Reasonably sure. Yeah, Guardia Forest, Earthbound Island. Oh, Mount Woe! That's what we should do. That's exactly where we should go next. Yeah, Trees Canyon and Medina Village. So if we can't get to the future, we are going to go to 12,000 BC and do Mount Woe. It is a later game dungeon. It is also a place that has a ton of good equipment, and it's typically where I go if I'm building up for Go mode. I just didn't see the marker on the map to realize that I still had it open, so we're going to do that. Mount Woe in the story is incredibly important because it's where you meet Melchior for the first time. Mount Woe. That's great. So we're gonna go check out the shop here. We're gonna get some healing items and all that kind of stuff you might need. What you got, buddy? Something good? Nope. Same stuff we've got basically everywhere else.
And another demon head.
More demon heads. That is a thing, the equipment randomizer tends to make a lot of the same items spawn in places. It's not ideal at times, but it's also, yeah, it's just a thing that happens. It's a byproduct of it.
So I wonder how many demon heads it would take to buy a jawbreaker in this game.
Oh. Probably a lot. I would assume a lot. Alright, let's grab a save right quick. Because saves are good. Save often. Doing randomizers, just take the time and do the save. Safety is good. Yeah, so we're gonna just have a whole bunch of these. Yeah, these fights are pretty quick, but these fights are not that big of a deal.
You're fighting Mr. Beast.
Yeah, these things, they tend to hurt when they punch. They're not that bad, but, like, every time you hit them, their power goes up. So, you definitely don't want to start wailing on something without the intention of it dying before the next attack. Because after, like, 3 or 4 attacks, they'll hit for, like, 200 damage. Oh, actually, it's only 105 in that case, but still, it goes up pretty quick. It's one of the reasons why Nesbul is also so dangerous. Is the same kind of effect. Alright, I think now's the time where I'm going to start using some more of my text to kind of speed up some of these fights. We've got enough ethers that we can definitely clean up, so we're gonna do an area bomb. Nice.
So, fun facts about Chrono Trigger. We fought Magus 2 earlier, and of course there's a Magus 1. But in the game's data files, there is actually a third Magus fight that is never used.
Huh. Interesting. I was not aware of that. There's a lot of interesting stuff they found in the game files. Were you aware of the extra save slots? Extra character slots, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the data files. They identified that there were 2 additional character slots that were set up but never actually implemented fully.
Yeah, it was for like for some kind of situation where only Chrono was in your party and everyone else was waiting.
Yep. They might have also used that for the process where they were doing the trial, as the characters are technically still there but not there.
Oh yeah.
But obviously they never had to implement that, because in this case they just don't show you that menu. You don't have the chance to swap out characters before then.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
just
the
need a
fights up
place.
here are mean.
Needed a place to store it.
Yep. There were also people who theorized that because of the increased number of animations for both Dalton and Scala, that they might have been originally intended to be playable in some aspect, but...
Yeah, but Scala has too many letters.
Yeah. So does Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Slasher 2. That's what we've been looking for. Heck yeah. That's 22% critical chance and 155. That's a great weapon for our main physical attacker.
Slasher 2. This time, it's not Slasher 1.
Slasher 2, the revenge. Slasher 2, we didn't actually have a subtitle for this.
By David Serlin.
Slasher 1, Slasher 2, TOO.
Also a slasher. Come on, just one more. Just little tap. Just one tap. Don't run away.
Love Rubble's evasion.
Don't run away. I need the experience. Thank you. Oh, okay, so this thing gives 1,000 experience and 50 TP, which is... Tech points are kind of hard to come by, so 50 tech points is a lot for one fight. Rubbles will run away if you don't hit them fast enough, and once they're gone, they're gone.
They got hella evasion.
Yup. For a rock, they really dodge super well. I'm gonna do lightning too. Might actually have to rely on him for a little bit of magic. Just to get through some of this. This experience is going to be really quite necessary for us to finish this out. Again, we want to be around level like 30 to 35 by the end of this. And at this rate, the rate we're going with the Go mode we've got available, we're in really good shape to do a little bit of extra grind, get a little bit more equipment. Yeah, Robo has one of the lowest hit rates. Chrono is not great either. So it's Robo, then Frog, then Chrono. So Chrono has the best of the three of them, but it's still not super great.
I mean, that puts him almost kind of in the middle. It's hard to say, because there's...
There we go. That's them doing what they're supposed to do.
I guess he's just like one below the middle, since there's 7.
Yeah, let's top everybody off up here. At least get him further up and restore some MP. Yeah, now that we've got MP in the 50s, it's going to be a lot easier for us to use abilities without worrying about running out of MP. And some of these fights definitely require us to do a lot of AoE damage. This one, not so much. This one we can definitely do... Yeah. Basically, we just want to make sure we don't have 1 HP, because these guys do that. It'll drop them down to 1 HP. If they have 1 HP when they are hit, what it will do is do a 50-50 roll. If you roll badly, then you lose that last HP and you're done. So it's a round on a coin flip.
Everyone loves the obligatory enemy that just takes you down to 1 HP.
Yep, it's perfect, right? It's just so much fun to just have all of that HP be completely negated all at once. Alright, so we're gonna fight these folks over here, and then we're gonna fight one more rubble, which is also with a chest. Yeah, those gargoyles are jerks. Through and through. I will say, they probably could have picked a sound effect for lightning that wasn't that grating. Alright. So, over here, we got 2 chests and a rubble. Oh, white mail. Excellent. White mail's gonna be really useful for this. Not only is it a bonus to hit, but it's immune to lightning.
Something. White male has all the power or something.
Oh.
I tried.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate the effort. Are we never gonna get... Okay, unless we get the pendant from this, which is entirely possible, we might not get Magus. At all. I mean, it's... At this point, I'm not necessarily sure it's a huge issue. We'll just make Marl our main magic user. Which is not ideal by any means, but it's not terrible. Yeah, our problem is the fact that Magus is either locked in the future or locked in the past behind a go mode we don't have. And we can't tell until we get the pendant. I mean, we could stop and check Frog Spot, but I also don't really... Yeah, I think I have to get... Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure I have to get the pendant from this. That's exactly what we're going to get out of here because of the current loadout. This Tyranno doesn't give us a key item. This has to be the pendant. Yeah, straight up. Or no, it could be jerky. It could be anything that gives us an easy, quick progression, like we could get Toma Pop, pendant, jerky, hero medal. Because that opens up the other key item chest in Frog's area. Oh, this is... Please don't die. Oh! Okay, well, that happens. It's fine. We saved a little bit back. Actually, just before doing this, so... We get a couple of fights to redo. This is why you always save. Save early, save often.
Yep.
That was also my fault for not paying attention. Too busy doing the mental calculus of what exactly I needed to do to get progression items, so what we will get out of here is a progression item, without question.
It's always fun to be, like, backed into one corner because you can't go anywhere else, and you're like, this has to be progression.
Yeah. Not to panic or anything. It is definitely one of those things where this is definitely our path forward, though, without question. All right, so status protection all, status protection chaos. Chrono is the only one that doesn't have status protection right now, and we don't have a thing to give him to do that, which is unfortunate. But it's still good that we've got 2 pieces of status protection that are not dependent on accessory slots. So that's a good thing. We're in a really good spot with that. What I want right now is a Rainbow Sword or a Rainbow Fist. For Rainbow Claw for Robo. There we go. Take that, Rubble.
One of the fun little touches about this game is if Marl is close enough to the enemy, and instead of shooting, she'll just, like, hit it with her bow.
Yep. Same thing for Luca. She'll run over and hit it with the hammer instead of shooting her gun. Okay, we're gonna not mess around with him this time and just use lightning. Lightning followed by ice. This is not gonna go as badly as it did last time. And given the nature of this run, I mean, there are definitely bound to be mistakes in certain fights that happen. It's a quite long run.
Wouldn't
Hey,
be a
there's an amulet.
randomizer. Wouldn't be a randomizer without stuff happening.
Oh, yeah. Let's just make sure everyone's topped up. I don't want to deal with that again. But now that we've got status protection on everybody, so that's super, super good. I would rather we had it on armor or helmets for Chrono rather than on... Actually, we have a wall helm. I know we have a wall helm. What happened to it? Weird. I just swore we picked one up. It's fine. Another slasher, too.
So, one question I have about the randomizer. So, in the vanilla game, you always have to have Chrono in your party, assuming you have Chrono.
Yeah.
Does Chrono always have to be in the party for the randomizer? Is there, like, the trigger that can be set to, like, lose Chrono?
Those do not exist in this game, so from the start, you'll have a randomized selection of characters. It can be basically anyone. Chrono's spot isn't locked at all, and there is... Under a very specific set of circumstances, if you cause the game to fail in its randomization in a certain way, you can lose Chrono, but normally under regular operating circumstances, it won't happen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I only know about that second one because I know how to do that, but there's no reason to do that and it breaks a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I need to actually talk to the devs about and make sure they know about that particular contingency. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I did it, there's a VOD on my channel of me doing that accidentally on stream. Let's get him back up. Really start having him do heal beam instead. Definitely worth it. Yeah, Robo's gonna be our... Chrono's gonna be our physical attacker, Robo's gonna be a close second. And then Marl's gonna be our... Well, Robo's also gonna be our main healer as well, so... Yeah, that AoE heal is incredibly useful for late game. It's one of the reasons why the Lapis, it's an item you can get, it's Lapis Lazuli Stone that heals everybody by 200 HP. In this game, buying them is incredibly expensive because they're that powerful. So having an AoE heal is equivalent to just having one of those all the time that your party can cast. Frog and Robo become essentially the best healers in the game because of that.
AoE healing in RPGs is always, like, a godsend.
Yeah, and in this game specifically too, because there's only 3 characters, and the only other heals are all single target. So when you see like some of these final bosses doing these really big AoE attacks, it can be absolutely devastating. A good example is the first phase of Zeal. She does the thing that bumps all of your characters down to 1 HP. So like having Robo in the wings to do a full heal on everybody is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Oh god, there's so many of these things. They're always the worst.
Yeah, some areas are, like, very dense in encounters.
Oh yeah, and these are all like the later game areas where combat is the big thing. Oh, Robo just got Uzi Punch. Uzi Punch is incredibly powerful. Also, that Mega Elixir is going to be very, very useful for
Very nice.
Lavos. Yeah, Mega Elixirs are incredibly powerful. Oh, we got another Nova Armor. Okay, we can now put this back on the Power Seal. So, Nova Armor is incredibly powerful. Our equipment is looking real good right now. Let's do a quick top-up of everybody.
Yeah, being able to skip those enemies is real nice because they are annoying.
We are actually still gonna have to fight them to get past them. Unfortunately, there's no line to bypass them. This is just for additional loot. But we are now completely immune to chaos, which is good.
Right, that's one of the ones that you can go past it, but then when you get the treasure on the other side, you have to fight them on the way back.
Yeah, on the way out to the next section, they have a trigger that's a solid line across, which is unfortunate. And again, like, we're gonna see Tyranno later so I can do some of those fun lines that make absolutely no sense, including a single pixel line to bypass a bunch of fights. Which I have a visual indicator of where to go, and I'm probably gonna mess it up, but it's, you know, it is what it is.
Oh, here they come.
Ah, yeah, the man-eaters.
It's okay, Daryl Hall and John Oates are not gonna sue us for singing that part because they're too busy suing each other.
Yeah, I heard that happened. That's so sad. Their music is fantastic and always has been.
Yeah, they've hated each other for decades, though. And one of them is suing the other one because I think Oates wanted to sell the rights to their songs to some company, and Daryl Hall doesn't want that, and it's like I don't know how the rights work for that.
Music rights is a giant nest of absolute nonsense.
And music foods in particular are just very difficult to deal with. But if we could see Slash back in Guns N' Roses, then maybe anything could happen within the next few, maybe even 20 years or so.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Slash and Guns N' Roses, way back when Guitar Hero 3 was released and Slash was in it, they put in Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, and then like a year or so later, Axl Rose sued Slash and Guitar Hero because they didn't license the song properly, because like he still owned rights to it and no one went to him. I don't know how that turned out, but like...
Well, considering we also had a history of Nirvana and No Doubt similarly used incorrectly, I can understand Activision getting the blunt of it.
Yeah.
There we go. I did have Wallhammer. Did I put that on some? Whatever. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, that's always been an issue. Like, music rights in general, specifically regarding video games, has always been a quagmire.
And I had to take like a... it was like ethics in media or something class in college, and like some of the stuff that's just like what counts as like a sample and what doesn't, and like the sampling rights go back to like a case in like the 80s where I want to say it was 2 Live Crew did a cover of like Pretty Woman, but like changed a lot of lyrics and stuff, and then there was a lawsuit, and they were found not guilty because it was like sampling something and then creating something new from it, and that's kind of like the precedent case for a lot of stuff.
Derivative works.
Yeah. I don't know, you
Yep.
can only say so much about gargoyles, so...
Well, there's a good thing, though. We're finally at the top of the mountain. It's only taken us, what, like 15 minutes to climb the mountain? This is normally where Giga Gaia is, but instead there is gonna be someone else. We don't know who. And there's that ice block there that is someone, who we find out is actually Melchior, before being thrown into the future. Oh, hey, it's Zombor. Hey, buddy. How you been? Fancy seeing you here.
Yeah.
Zombor's usually on Zen and Bridge, and he's kind of a pushover there, and he's definitely a pushover here. Really, what we find with a lot of the randomizers is that the game is substantially harder earlier and easier later, as it were.
It does make sense.
Yeah, I should probably be not mixing these because they're different magic types for both top and bottom, but Marl's doing a lot more damage to the top than is being healed up. And we're just gonna swap over to doing Confuse on the bottom. They all take physical damage anyway, so we'll do that. Then we'll just Uzi punch the top.
Yeah, this is one of the... Go ahead.
We're most of the way there for our physical damage strategies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is one of those bosses that has like multiple parts to it, and you don't want to multi-target because part will heal and part will take damage, like that.
Yep. So the bottom is gonna now disintegrate, which is the strategy you want to use is take out the legs first. Now we're just gonna punch down the top, which, again, super easy. Very straightforward. It will do that a lot, but it's also not going to do that much damage doing it. Especially not the Robo, who's now taking 1/3 of physical damage. Because of the wall. Or the barrier, rather. Oh no, magic damage. He's taking reduced magic damage right now. Barrier is physical, wall is magic.
Fun fact, barrier is also physical in Pokemon. Light screen is special.
Alright.
Did you know I play Pokemon?
Oh, no, I never would have guessed. I totally haven't seen you do, like, what, 3 or 4 different runs of, Wait, did you do Red recently for a marathon?
I did, Pokemon Blue reverse badge order for Frost Fatales this year.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good run.
Thanks.
There's a lot of glitchy stuff in that. I love runs that are incredibly glitchy like that.
Yeah. It's just, like, I went overestimate because I kept, like... If you make even the slightest error because you're messing with RAM, the game will crash, and I crashed, like, twice in the one area where you can't, like, safety save. Because if you save it, and then reload the game, it loads the map as normal. Instead of the glitchy state I was in. But yeah.
Alright, so we just got the pendant, so we were talking about earlier, which is going to let us do another trial. We're kind of at the level where we want to be, our equipment is kind of where we want to be, but I want to show off a couple little things, because we've got some extra time to do that. So we're gonna go, and this is during the start of the game, like right after you complete the first part in the past. Chrono gets thrown on trial for supposedly trying to steal a treasured pendant from Marl, who, as it turns out, is the princess of this era. So they throw him in, they put him in front of the trial. Based on the choices you make in the game, you can get a non-guilty verdict. In fact, every time I do, I always go for non-guilty because it's a very specific set of actions. However, the Chancellor here has decided that you should be imprisoned and then executed anyway. Because
It's like
he's mean.
it's like Ohio.
Oh, oh, yeah. Oh,
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yep. Alright, we're gonna save real quick now that we're imprisoned for not doing anything wrong. And then we're gonna annoy these guards, and they're gonna attack us for not doing anything wrong. And then, I mean, then we're gonna end up maybe hurting one of the guards, which in this case I maintain is still not doing anything wrong. And we smacked him in the back of the head. I maintain they're being knocked out, and they are not being killed. Because that would be bad.
I mean, that one just disappeared out of reality.
Don't think too hard about it. It's fine.
Don't worry, I don't think about.
Yeah, on the plus side though, this pendant being so late in the game means that a lot of the stuff locked behind it is gonna be quite good. So we're gonna find quite a bit of decent equipment in this area and in the future. We should anyway. Also, I really want to do the Arrowstone because the Arrowstone has one of the highest rarities for treasure stored in the sealed room behind the one section. I'll explain when we get there, but because of how late it is and what it requires to get, it typically has very, very good equipment. And I'm looking for one piece in particular I haven't gotten, and I'm probably not going to get, so that's the good old-fashioned haste helm. And yeah, that's another one of those sections where there's a very specific lineup you can get straight through those guys without triggering them.
So, Omnicron back there. One of the things hidden in the files is another battle with him, but he has a different palette. And he also has no stats, so that was probably cut pretty early on, but it's an interesting thing. That's why is there a second one of him? I don't know.
Yeah, there's you find Omnicron in the shop in Medina Village before you've cleared Magus' palace and Ozzy's fort, where he does the same kind of thing where he tries to pick a fight with you and he just gets beat up. But like, Omnicron shows up a couple other places. Oh, we're also gonna save Fritz. Because Fritz is a child and didn't do anything wrong. Seems like a lot of people in this prison didn't do anything wrong.
I don't know. That would imply that there was some sort of corrupted government, and I don't know. Sounds fake.
Yeah, like a chancellor.
Well, do you think this could be the reason why we ended up losing Guardia just before the events of Chrono Cross?
It's entirely possible. I mean, well, this gets corrected in Chrono Trigger if you follow and do all the side quests. As it turns out, the reason this is all happening is because the Chancellor we saved in the past was, again, another Yakra. The Yakra then has been just working as the Chancellor in Guardia ever since, changing identities every now and then, to continue controlling the government and to imprison people and cause general chaos and discord. So,
I
the
like
Yakras...
I like to cause general chaos and discord.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's fun, but, like, you gotta know what the limit is. Something, the limit does not exist. Okay, so we're gonna pop back up here, and we're gonna pop out the way that we came in. And then we're going to destroy what would normally be the Dragon Tank. But Dragon Tank's not there because randomizer. It's gonna be something. It's probably gonna look weird too because of the way that this area is set up. So, if you can get past the graphical glitches that are caused by this particular randomizer, it's a lot of fun. And it's definitely not the best way to experience the game if you're not super familiar with it.
Yeah. Again, it's just one of those things where, with it, not cutting to a separate battle scene like most other RPGs of the time, it's harder to move stuff around, especially when enemies are part of the background and have weird different palettes and stuff.
I will say, it is a little weird that our good guys just shoved a guy down a set of stairs. Probably not great. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. He's just asleep. Alright, now the dragon tank. That set of papers that fell over in that other room, by the way, that was a manual on how to fight the dragon tank. There are a lot of people that just don't ever look at it, but it gives you detailed instructions on the best way to fight it.
Yeah, there's
Hey,
like
it's Slash!
That's definitely not a tank or a dragon. What the?
Yep. That is a, I think fish monster? I think he's supposed to be a fish monster. I don't know. He's Slash. He is simply Slash. So that's based on 3 characters in the game, Ozzy, Flea, and Slash. Obviously, musical references here in the US. Their names in Japan, I believe, were Ketchup, Mustard, and Relish. But I don't remember exactly what they were. Ooh, Silver Stud! Silver Stud is incredibly useful, and that is immediately going on our... I'm gonna give that to Robo. Robo
Everything but Slash is exploding.
Yeah, we're gonna immediately put that Silver Stud on Robo. Mostly for Uzi Punch and for the heal. Silver Stud reduces the MP cost of spells by 50%. If you get the Gold Stud, it reduces it by 75%, but Silver Studs are more common, and I'm glad to have it at all.
Valeria in chat saying, "Oh gosh, that's so Dragon Ball."
Yeah.
Fun fact: the characters of this game were designed by Akira Toriyama, who created Dragon Ball.
Yep, the developers of this game were affectionately referred to as the Dream Team. The Dream Team was a combination of Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy developers. Akira Toriyama, the man who created Dragon Ball and a whole bunch of other really awesome manga, was also the principal enemy designer for Dragon Quest. He then moved on to be the principal art director, which is why all of the Dragon Quest games look so much like his manga. But yeah, the combination of him and one of the directors from Final Fantasy, the music director from Final Fantasy, and the level designers from Dragon Quest came together to make this particular game, which is a fun little mashup of their styles.
Yeah, and especially interesting considering that at this point, it would still be about a decade before Squaresoft and Enix would merge.
Did I go in here? I'm pretty sure I went in here.
So, you know, Enix was doing Dragon Quest. So, just the fact that people from Enix came over and worked with people from Square.
Yep, and technically, this is obviously released by Squaresoft, so Enix were the ones that were like giving them the flexibility to do that. But yeah, it's incredible the amount of cachet just that team had, and the output they created from it is to this day still revered as one of the best RPGs for the SNES. Oh yay, another Slasher 2. So if we got Slasher 2 3 times, does that mean we've got Slasher 6?
If you could combine them somehow. Or just, like, hold all 3 at once.
Oh, wait, maybe it's like exponential, so we need 10 Slasher 2s to make a Slasher 3?
Math hurts.
Yay, math! Alright, so we're gonna do the Aerostome real quick. It's a very fast thing. This is an early game thing, so all of the damage we're doing, like just with the trial, like the Dragon Tank we just saw, we're gonna burn through these incredibly quickly, because Mount Woe is much, much later in the game, and thus is scaled much, much higher. So this will be real quick. Say hi to Doan, he's gonna walk over for no reason. And we're gonna go run across these girders above whatever this is down here. Destroyed background floor thingy. Whatever. Also, completely inconspicuous rat statue, don't ask questions.
It's fine.
Hey, it's the Rust Tyranno.
Oh, that's its head, alright.
Yep.
Executing program.
Are you sure this is a Chrono Trigger randomizer and not some 16-bit remake of Chrono Cross?
Maybe a little balance. Yeah, this is again another one of those fun side effects of the fact that we just they couldn't do the background modifications for this. I mean, given enough time, they probably could theoretically create the background stuff for every one of these spaces, but it's not worth it. Juice isn't worth the squeeze, as it were.
I mean, like, making something like this is kind of a side project to whatever you do on the daily, so...
Yeah. They'd have to basically insert a dynamic replacement of the background, which isn't, from what I understand, that difficult for it to be done. It's just a matter of it's a lot of extra work. Because you'd have to do it for every location, and it's just too much. And that's Rust Tyranno.
Alright, well, we are about at the hour 2 mark, if you want to find a spot and take a break.
Yeah, let me finish out this area. It'll be maybe in 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk to this guy right here real quick. He's gonna tell us the statue isn't a statue, as we suspected, because, you know, it didn't look like a statue. Talk to this rat after we catch it. Come here. Slow down. There we go.
This part was always annoying.
Yep. So fun fact, LR plus A is what it wants you to do. So you hold those two buttons, you press A, it works. When you walk over to this thing right here, and it fixes the floor. Super cool. That doesn't work until you catch it. So even if you know it, you can't use it until you've found it in the game.
Another slasher too.
Yeah. So, yeah, Slasher 2 cubed. Or, not cubed, the 4th. So much Slasher. So little time. Alright, yeah, so after we clear this out, we are going to go to Tyranno Lair, because we are properly geared now for this. We are in a really good space, and we should have, yeah, we should be good to go. My hope is that we find a rainbow sword in here. Rainbow sickle. Okay, a doom bow. Another slasher 2. Alright, okay, hold on. I gotta check a thing then.
Is it just Magus that could carry sickles?
Yep. That would make Magus then the strongest physical attacker in this game by a country mile.
If you had him.
Yes. The Doom Bow, however, we are definitely going to put on her, because it's still a lot of damage, and then if someone's down, she'll do like twice the damage. Which is incredible. But yeah, we're gonna pop out here, grab a key item, and then we will take our break. And I might look for Magus. If he's in the spot I think he's in, then we'll be fine. If not, then we're just gonna move on and immediately go for Tyranno Lair.
You know, with all these slashers, put them together, and a lot of these enemies are gonna be knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, it's so bad, it's good. Alright, Doan. Give me something good. Is it candy? Are you giving me candy? He's not gonna give me candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Hero medal. Okay. That actually opens up another key item, and if we were using Frog as our main, that would be much more useful, but we're not. So, we are gonna take a break here then, I think. It should be good.
Alright. Everybody pee, and then rehydrate so you can pee more later. I don't know why they let me be on here still.
Delightful comments like that are why you come back.
Okay then, well, this is the final act of GrayGooGirl's run through the Chrono Trigger Jets of Time Randomizer. Can we actually find Magus? Well, let's find out.
Indeed, let's find out. That's actually the next place I'm going. There are only 2 places Magus can actually be right now. One of them would not be accessible without finding the other part of the sword. So if he's not here in the future, he's in the past. Which I guess that's kind of exactly how it has to be.
I mean, unless he was in the present.
Yeah, and he's not in our party, so he's definitely not in the present. That works many ways. Alright, so we're gonna check this real quick. And see where... So there's gonna be a character at the end of this. Normally it's Robo. We're really hoping it's Magus, because Magus will just slot in right where Marl is. Start taking over for her casting abilities, and have one of the strongest weapons in the game. Him with a rainbow weapon is... Oh, it's Luca. Okay, so he's in the place we can't go to.
But Luca, yay!
But we got Luca! Yeah!
She
Well,
lives
how
on
would
the
she-
2nd floor.
So how would she fit in the party if you end up giving her a role?
If I were to put her in, she would be a magic user, but I think we've already established Marl enough that she's really going to be the one we use. Unfortunate, like, if we had Magus, he would have access to all of the damage types, which would be awesome, but unfortunately it's just not going to be a thing. We're going to do one other thing real quick. As just a last-ditch effort. We got the hero medal, we can claim a free key item, we're going to do that. So, it's entirely possible that this key item will be the progression item we need for Magus. I don't think it is, but it's worth checking. It's got like a 1 in 8 chance of being that, I think. I think it's how many we have left. There's our Magus.
Yeah.
In the worst possible spot. Is it the other half of the sword? Nope, it's the Chrono Trigger. Alright, sorry Magus, you're staying here forever. Love you,
They
bye!
said the name of the game!
They said the thing! Yeah.
Well, I guess we're
it's
gonna
the-
have to use 300 IQ to deal with endgame.
By the way,
Looks
that's our
like
second
I'm
go
gonna...
mode. We can either do the Tyranno lair, or we can do Black Omen, and, honestly, I'm leaning towards doing Black Omen instead of, the Tyranno lair. I think it's a better endgame. So, yeah, we just unlocked a second ending that we're gonna do, and we're gonna do that one because I think it's more fun. And we get to fight Zeal instead of fighting Lavos, so... Zeal is...
Looks like we're gonna have to jump.
Alright, so we're gonna pop in through here. We are going to use the clone and the Chrono Trigger to summon in a thing called the Black Omen. This thing is going to send up these little thingers to help us traverse the Death Peak, which is a thing. I always want to call it Death Mountain, because, you know, Death Mountain. But no. As someone who's played way too much Link to the Past, that music will forever be burned into my brain.
The theme from the Dark World. The theme from the Dark World.
Oh, that was from Demon Tomato Dave. I remember that a cappella.
That's great. The music from that game is pretty good. Pretty solid. It's not my favorite music from a Zelda game, but it's definitely good. Definitely has the most nostalgia for me, I'll put it that way. Alright, so this guy turns into a tree, which prevents the harsh winds from blowing us over. Also, there's a power tab there, which is kind of hard to see. And it caused me to fall. It's fine. It's not a problem. There we go. So I have auto run turned on. I have to hold a button to walk, which is the opposite of how it's supposed to be. So it's a little difficult at times to get it perfect. It's super convenient that they're walking perfectly in a line that a thin tree will block all the wind.
There might be a lucky emblem here.
Could be something. Let's find out. I'm a little salty we didn't get Magus. That rainbow sickle is incredible. Damage output would be unrivaled. This is like 255, which is the highest a weapon can be, and it's an 83% crit chance.
You took care of those crackers.
Yep. That I did. Ooh, Vigil Dress. Heck freaking yeah. Okay, you put on that Vigil Dress, and we can take off that sight cap for something that is better. Because the Vigil Dress is Protect All as well. So, everybody is protected, and then some.
Always... Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
And I'm not gonna question it. Moving on!
Me neither.
Alright, so punch these things down. Yep, there. Not that hard. Actually, this is where I prefer to go to farm out tech points at the end of the game for Magus. There are a decent number of tech points. The ghosts that are up here are a pretty decent number of tech points as well. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have pulled those. I probably shouldn't have pulled those. That's fine. Mistakes can be made.
There's some very macabre parts of this game.
Very much so. Ice too, that's what we want. This is also one of the main reasons why it's great to level up Magus' stuff here, is because they're all weak to magic, and one magic attack to clear all of them. So basically you equip a gold stud on Magus, and just have him cast as soon as he gets into combat. And they just immediately melt.
Also, just with the way that the Super Nintendo layers work, I love that when there's like a layer that has like snow or other weather, if you use some of those magic attacks, it turns that off so it can turn on the attack.
Oh yeah, the layering in this is very interesting, because there's, I want to say there's 5 layers for the SNES. It's either 5 or 7, I can't remember. But I know it's a pretty substantially limited number. We're in shock. It's fine. Yeah, I think we have 2 Mega Elixirs too, which is really good for the end of this. Just thinking about our endgame strategy. Mega Elixirs are basically a free reset at the start of a fight. You just toss a Mega Elixir out, everyone gets full heal, full magic. Which is really good for multi-part fights. So that's been opened. Back around like this. Just cling to the top, and that will avoid those lines. Yeah, I'm a little not happy I didn't get a chance to show off the lines for Tyranno Lair, but there are also a lot of fights in Tyranno Lair that are just not fun.
Yeah.
So it's a nice trade-off of just like, I'd rather do this and take a little bit longer in Black Omen than have to suffer through what is the Tyranno Lair.
Yeah, in vanilla, the Tyranno Lair is like the first like big slog in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Magus' Castle is pretty close, but at least Magus' Castle, you can avoid a lot of things. In Tyranno Lair, it's just very hard to avoid some of the more egregiously long and obnoxious fights. Okay, we can't really equip anything else. Okay, so the armor is basically staying as is. That moon armor is going to prevent us from having status effects, so we can't take it off.
Max's Castle also gives us non-binary legend Flea.
Flea is amazing. Flea is one of the best characters in the game. Ooh, do we want... Ooh, we want the rainbow helmet. Mermaid cap is still good. Using the wall helmet, which we definitely want to keep on him because it's the barrier. Sorry, endgame equipment management gets a little complicated in this. Oh, hey, it's the boss golem! My favorite golem. We're gonna take a second. I'm not gonna fight the boss golem. Because I wanna show this off because it's so much fun. The boss golem is in fact, a character you run into in the game. Normally when you run into him, he's been summoned in while you're on the Epoch flying in the air. And the boss golem is absolutely terrified of heights. So you go into this fight after fighting some other golems that are really hard to beat, and this one's just like, he does the countdown, and then he's just like, can't do it. I'm scared. And it's the most adorable thing. And then he runs away. So it is a joke fight. There is no actual fight that needs to be done for it. He will eventually just run away. I probably should have beaten him up and taken whatever item he had and some experience, but I love showing that off. It's too adorable.
He's still there.
He's still there. Okay, so this is actually because you're supposed to beat a lava spawn there, and the lava spawn's shell stays. So you use the lava,
right.
you use the shell to push over to climb. This scene is also heavily changed from what's in the actual story. Normally the Chrono Trigger and the clone are used for a thing that is not going to happen in this game, but what it does in this game is summons in the Black Omen.
Yeah, this is a, like, pretty significant part in the story. And we're just gonna, like, nope.
Yeah, in this case, we're talking about party composition. For this scene, Marl being the lead character is kind of mandatory. It's not actually mandatory, but it makes the story make a ton of sense. And it's kind of like how you would expect it to be.
I'm trying to remember from my experience in vanilla Chrono Trigger, but is the Black Omen off limits in 2300 AD because, you know, Lavos had already done this thing?
Correct. Yes, you cannot access the Black Omen in 2300 AD because Lavos has already destroyed the planet in 1999. Because, you know, this is a game made in the 90s. Of course they had to do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this is exactly the reason, is because his mission's already been accomplished, Zeal's already gotten what she wanted, it's too late. But, we can go back to 1000 AD and do the Black Omen then.
It's one of my favorite time travel games.
Oh yeah. This game was one of the best time travel based RPGs of its era as well. Like, there's just something incredible about it. In the way that they've structured it, the narrative is done very, very well. At least I believe it is.
Yeah.
Where are the
I mean,
slasher twos?
My favorite movie is the Back to the Future trilogy, so I like time travel.
Do we not sell the slasher twos?
Another great
You can't
game.
sell the slasher twos. Sorry, go ahead.
Another
sweet
great game
child.
for my. But
Sweet child of mine, you ended up with so many of them.
Yeah, you can't sell them because they're a special item.
But another great time travel game I played a lot growing up was Day of the Tentacle.
I've never actually played Day of the Tentacle. I've heard about it several times, but never actually got around to it.
It's so good. I think it's
Alright.
on Game Pass, the remastered.
Oh, heck yeah, I'll have to play it. So this is the Black Omen. Black Omen is an onslaught of many, many, many bits of combat. The fact is, Death Peak is short. There aren't that many fights. It's one technically it's 3 boss fights in the vanilla game, but 1 boss fight in this game. And it leads to the Black Omen. The other paths will lead you to a place called the Ocean Palace, which is considerably shorter. So Magus's Palace plus the Ocean Palace, or Tyranno Lair plus the Ocean Palace, are roughly equivalently sized. Because of the fact that Death Peak is so short, that's why this route goes to the Black Omen, because the Black Omen is a bit longer than those other paths. It is also the hardest fights in the game. This is supposed to be the last place you do any kind of stuff. So we took the harder path-ish. At our current level, everything's going to be kind of a pushover anyway. And that's kind of where we're at with this. We're still going to avoid as many fights as we can and run away from as many as we can, but there are fewer fights we can run away from in this particular dungeon, and fewer lines we can take to avoid fights. Oh crap, I should have done the regular physical attack. That's not going to do anything.
Well, it did something alright, just against your favor.
Yeah.
Well, they were already at full health, so...
They do the half HP drop thingy, which is just, yeah, moderately annoying. They're really not that dangerous. In the base game, their charm item is really good. It's a gold earring, which gives you plus 50% health, which is great until you get to late game, where health is a lot less important. But usually by the time you clear a casual playthrough, you'll have your character somewhere around 700 to 800 HP.
The golden earring is also good if you have a thing called Radar Love.
I know the name of that song, I don't know what specifically is being referenced.
So, Radar Love is a song by Golden Earring.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Although the cover by White Lion is way better.
Yeah, that's the one's like constantly played on the radio, like on, yeah, older stations. I think that's the one. But yeah, so. I'm guessing it's one of those things where the cover was more popular than the original. Like, there's that weird thing that happens with that.
Yeah.
And of course, every Christmas here in the UK, we're going to be reminded of Whitney Houston's cover of I Will Always Love You being well known than Dolly Parton's version, so...
I mean, there's so many, like, popular songs that you wouldn't realize are covers because you don't know the cover at all, the original at all. Like, Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. That's a cover.
Banana Mama's Venus! That's another example off the top of my head.
Leaving on a jet plane.
1985 by Bowling for Soup.
I want to say all along
really?
the Watchtower, but Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix both had great versions.
Oh, the Hendrix version is still my favorite. That was
Yeah.
lovely. This is fun, we get to show our age. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh. Not quite. I'm more of a 90s kid, so it feels weird for me to reference something made in the 60s.
Uh,
I mean, I am also a child of the 90s, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was born in the late 80s, so...
Yeah, very much the same. Alright, so we're just fighting these wall panels because apparently that's what you do. I mean, you'd think since they're stationary and in a wall, you could just, like, walk right by them, but I don't know.
Video game logic.
They just like punching stuff. Alright, these are a source of catch-up for tech points. If you did not get enough tech points, you can fight these things and they'll give you like 100, I think, for each one of the small orbs you kill. It's just a catch-up mechanic. We don't need to worry about that. We're already doing way better than we need to be for this area, so... We're just gonna run away from here. There is one other major benefit to doing the Black Omen, and that is the specialty shop at the end. There is a shop run by a new at the end of this area that is absolutely awesome. It usually has mega elixirs and some really decent equipment, so... We'll see if there's anything in there we might use. If there are haste helms, I'm going to drop all of the money I have in buying those. Because haste helms are broken.
Yup. Free haste.
Free haste forever. Haste basically lets you attack twice as fast.
It's a pretty common thing in Square RPGs to have some form of haste.
These things are mean. Robot, just give him a little tap. There we go. Fantastic. we're gonna top everyone up. See, that kind of stopped happening at some point where we just stopped really using top-ups. Especially now that we've got enough shelters, we don't have to worry about doing that. Every time we go to a save spot, we're gonna get full healed. And we have more than enough to carry us to the rest of the Black Omen. But there are times where we're gonna need to top up.
Yeah,
And-
that's the gauntlet life.
Yep. Oh, really? You had to both go after Robo? What? There are 2 other targets, man. Could have done that. That would have been fine.
I don't
So,
know. Maybe they were just craving the iron in that part of the diet.
Oh, yeah, they needed to catch up on some vitamin R. For Robo.
Malk, now with vitamin R. But, like, how do they suck the life force out of Robo? He's a robot. He's inorganic.
Stop asking questions. Don't question it. Poking holes.
Meh.
And maybe it's a battery source or something. I don't know. I got nothing. Oh, hey, we just took a teleporter to take an elevator, because that makes sense.
I mean, you gotta have your elevator gauntlet.
Yep. And there's another one, too. There's 2 elevator gauntlets in here. Alright, Ruminators are mean. They actually can definitely kill us. What we want to do here is we want to Uzi Punch 2 of them down, or 1 of them down, and physically attack the rest. They don't take a lot of they don't take a lot of magic damage. They also do a thing where if they are damaged, they will bite something for almost all of its health. If not all of it. So we're gonna negate that by doing this. Alright, I got one more fight for this elevator, I think. Pretty sure it's one more fight.
Elevator, go down the hole.
Oh, normally these elevators are actually randomized, but for this particular game, they've decided they were gonna... again, I did the wrong thing there. The exact wrong thing.
Using
I never
electricity on those kind of enemies. Not wise. Never mind.
I never unlocked Marl's magic. I just realized that. Meaning, that's why she only has three abilities. She's never actually gonna learn haste.
Oh.
That was a mistake. But it's fine. We don't actually need haste. Haste is a crutch. But, like... It's useful, but it's also not the end-all be-all. We're also not fighting Lavos, so haste is way more important when fighting Lavos. A lot of his things, you have to react as fast as you possibly can. In this case, it's not nearly as much of a requirement. Mostly because Zila's not that picky about certain things. Okay, we want to go down here, grab that. Megaton arm, which we don't really care about. No panel fight. More Ruminators.
Yeah, even just playing through the game casually, Lavos is not a pushover.
Yeah, he's not trivial by any means. If you know what you're doing, it's not too bad to take him out, but yeah, the first time you play through, expect that fight's gonna take you a couple attempts.
And then there's the form that tries to trick you.
Yep. The trickiest thing that I've ever seen an RPG do, where the center body of the boss isn't the part that's important to fight.
Yeah.
It's super mean. Really is. It'd be like if CPU from FF4, if like the CPU part wasn't the important part, it was one of the original like attacker orb things.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Alright, we got a couple more things here. So it's like 6 chests in this room. Another slasher too, look at that! Just what I was looking for. Just what I needed.
Hooray!
More hyper ethers, sunshades. Heck freaking yeah. Give me them sunshades. Power Steel, take a hike. We do 25% more damage now.
I wear my sunglasses at the end of the world.
This was underwhelming. I mean, we're gonna take the elixirs, but that was an underwhelming shop. Sunshades make up for it, though. Yeah, so Chrono's now doing just a flat 25% more damage, which is an excellent bonus. Next to the shopkeep is also another new that will take you out of the Black Omen if you think you're not ready. So if you struggle to get to that point, you have a quick exit. Alright, now we're fighting the Tubster, which is a great name for an enemy. Alright, we're gonna do Confuse and Oozy Punch. Yeah, Confuse that is about 2,000 damage per attack, which is incredibly useful. It really makes it that, like, Chrono's physicals now do as much as the other, like, high-end magic attacks.
It's a palette swap of Gato.
Yeah, I don't know how they stole the plans for Gato.
He's got metal joints.
However, when you beat them up, you're not gonna get 15 silver points.
He's gonna get experience points.
You get 50 tech points? 6 tech points. Not even 50.
Round it
That's
up.
just sad. Okay, we can, in fact, get past these Ruminators without touching them. Getting out is always harder, but we did it! Ah, crap.
But
Spoke too
going
soon.
back in, nah.
Had to go back in and try and get through the door. It's possible, it's just not probable. Yeah, we're just gonna auto-attack at this point. There's no reason to burn more MP. It's not that much faster. Okay, I have not seen the cat, and I have not picked up mid-ethers from Fritz, because, I mean, saving Fritz was the important part. The mid-ethers are just kinda, just there for extra stuff. Sorry, I'm sure that message was posted a while ago. I just saw it. I've not been paying as much attention to chat as I should have.
Timestamp on here is my side says 4:41, so.
Okay, so like 15 minutes ago. It's fine. Okay, I'm not gonna use lightning on these guys. I stopped myself. I made sure I didn't do it. I can, in fact, learn. I swear.
Third time's the charm!
I'm learning.
I swear I am capable of actually learning things. Probably.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 8 or more times, shame on me.
Fool me once, can't fool me again.
Can't get fooled again.
And cue the meme with the with the sunglasses getting put on and the yeah.
A brave sword.
When I was in
That's not
college
useful
in
at all.
theater, for a thing called experimental theater, one year I wrote a sketch that was nothing but puns and people putting sunglasses on while that played.
Oh, the Who? Yeah.
Yeah, specifically that. Yeah!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, did anyone else know they were making a new series of CSI? That is like the original people?
Oh, CSI Vegas. Yeah, it's got 2 seasons already. It's really good.
Yeah. I just started watching it with my partner. It's like surprisingly good.
The first season has Grissom and Sarah in it, and for once, they actually have chemistry.
Yeah, it's a little weird, because they didn't have chemistry before.
Yeah,
Don't know where they
their
found it.
relationship was very forced in the original series, but
Oh, yeah.
the second season's really good, too. Grissom and Sarah aren't in that one, but Catherine is, and Greg makes a few appearances.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
I want them
to finish watching that at some point.
I want them to do like a CSI extended universe and have like appearances by like, you know, the guy from Miami or like from New York appear.
I'm pretty sure they did that once in the original series of CSI with the Miami ones.
Yeah, the Miami one was like a backdoor pilot for the spin-off. And then
okay.
And then like the backdoor pilot for New York was a CSI Miami episode.
Huh.
And then Miami and New York crossed over a few times after that, but the original never did.
Alright. Let's pop back to commentary on the Black Omen now that we're getting to an actually interesting spot. So we've gone through most of the main fights. We're about to enter the area where now aliens are involved, apparently. But we're gonna avoid most of those fights by doing these lines. Because that's what you do. Hop over here. Unfortunately can't avoid triggering... Oh, we can, never mind. I actually got through. Don't always do that, it's kinda hard. Okay, prism. We got prism specs. That just changed even more. Now we have 50% damage increase. And we are not going to mess with these aliens, because these aliens will absolutely beat the crap out of you. If you punch them and you don't kill them, they kill you back.
Ah.
Yep.
It's like counter.
They counter with an immediate death spell. Alright, and now we are at this. We're going to do the next boss fight. See who we rolled the dice for with this. Let's hope it's not Flea Plus. Because Flea Plus sucks. We have 4 more bosses at this point. We are really closing in on it, though. Oh, it's Nizbal!
Oh! Nizbal the first.
Nizbal the easy. The one that's not a problem. Well, we need to shock him first. I meant to do that. That's fine, but we can still do our magic attacks. Chrono's going to use lightning too. It's going to weaken him, and then we're going to Uzi Punch.
I also love that Uzi Punch is misspelled.
Yeah, there's 2 Z's.
Yep.
Let's do Confuse. Confuse is a terrible name for this. I don't know why they would call it that.
Localizations are weird.
I think it's supposed to be Frenzy. It's like, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I can see them... I don't know Japanese at all, but I can see those coming from kind of the same root.
Yeah. Okay, so it releases the energy, everyone takes some damage, it's fine. And lightning too. Yeah, we could have absolutely drawn worse boss spots here.
Chrono, do you have to stand on top of Robo?
Let's do... Can't do Confuse, so we're gonna just do Spin Cut. Just guaranteed crit. There we go. That's what we're looking for. The 5,000 experience, 200 checkpoints, some extra tabs. We should probably burn the remaining tabs we have at this point, since we've cemented everyone in their roles.
Luminaire.
Luminaire is the strongest magic attack, and unfortunately we won't be using it for most of this run. I mean, we might use it a little bit later, if we need to do lightning damage, but... Okay, so that's done. We are gonna use a shelter real quick. We are gonna grab save. Because, once again, save frequently. Always a good thing. especially in games you can't soft lock in. Alright, we got one more elevator that we took a teleporter to. This one goes up. Yeah, Chrono's base attack now does enough to kill these Ruminators in one hit. On a crit, he'll do about 1,000. He does scale very much out of proportion, so imagine if he had roughly 30 or 40 more attack power and crit every time he swung his sword.
I mean,
That's what a random sword would do.
He has main character syndrome.
He gets horrendously broken.
Both figuratively and literally.
Yep. Doozy punch.
Valeria in chat. Valeria in chat. Ruminator? I hardly know her.
Ba 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 ba. Jokes.
Mwah.
Alright, I think there's that. Yeah, that's it. That's it for that fight. This room. Then another boss fight. Which is gonna happen in the panel room? Yeah, it's like a panel room kind of thing. Normally it's another mutant, but we're not worrying about that. There it is. You can get the timing right to skip those, but it's just not worth trying. It's just wasted effort, because it's very hard to get past this without hitting them.
Yeah. You know, the ones that you can skip, I wonder, like, how many were intended for you to be able to skip, and how many just happen to be byproducts of how the hitboxes or triggers are set.
Yeah, I think a lot of... I don't think they were intending there to be a lot of combat skips. I think it's just a byproduct of how they design the game. Oh no, 2 tubsters!
Ooh.
What are the odds?
I literally have no idea.
It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
It always happens.
Wow.
Alright, let's try that. Is that enough? Yes, that's enough. Good. Almost done.
Yeah.
We are in the very last home stretch of this stuff. Oh, that's right. Panels. Panels I can't run away from. Panels I can't run away from that have slow animations.
I mean, they're panels. They can't move much.
This is basically just hold down the auto attack button.
I, too, hide small swords by the dozen behind my panels.
Oh, of course.
The panels are like the tarot card meme of person getting all the swords and then waking up and there's swords everywhere.
Hey, look at all these swords I got! What am I gonna do with all these swords?
Why can't I hold all these swords?
Okay, these are being incredibly annoying now to the point where I actually think I have to heal. Panels, stop! I implore you, stop!
Can't even
It's
call
okay,
it marathon.
you get it, you're cool.
Can't even call it marathon luck because this is a showcase.
Yeah, these panels are by far the most annoying thing in this game. Hey, another pair of sunshades. Not that we need them, but we got them. some of the most sought-after items in the game. Prism specs are definitely the most sought-after. Alright, here's our this is our third to last boss. Because they couldn't put the giant robot in there, instead of a giant robot, it's a new.
Mode 7.
Alright, we're gonna do Confuse on Bit. And then Ice 2? Ice 2 should be fine. Yeah, 2800 should kill that thing outright, without a problem. In fact, I'm pretty sure 2800 is complete overkill on it.
Punch.
Confuse! Again! This is gonna be a lot of what happens now, is just spamming Confuse on things.
It's a new, it's already confused.
Life begins and ends with the new, of this I am certain. Yes, I have that bit of text memorized. No, I don't play this game too much. Yeah, I do.
Rainbow lasers coming out of the nose.
Yep. Go ahead and give it to me. There we go. So that's cleared. Gold Rock, which is Grand Dream plus Shield. We're not going to use that. We're going to pop down here, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time, which is we're going to use a shelter, and we're going to save. That's 90% of the end of this game, is just using shelters and making sure you have backup saves.
Mick Jagger and Keith Richards would be satisfied.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I get it. Give me shelter.
I mean, I snuck in a Tom Petty reference right before that, but I think it was a little less clear.
Oh, I'm not sure if I caught it.
It's a breakdown when you destroy the boss.
Oh, I
Put
did.
the line immediately after that in the song breakdown. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not important. We're going to use Confuse on these beasts. And that Mud Imp, who is kind of a jerk. On a scale of 1 to 10, he is definitely a jerk. Maybe we're gonna hold off. We're gonna hold off and just do Uzi Punch until this one's down. I can't remember if the magic resistance on these. I never really do magic attacks on them because they're. How much health does that thing have? 3,500. All right.
It's been way too long since I've played the game to remember all that.
And I play the game frequently. And I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I should probably remember it. Oh, I guess I confused on the wrong one. Alright. Whatever. It's
You
fine.
yourself were confused.
Yeah, this fight is not complicated, nor is it even remotely dangerous. It's just the fact, like, it's in this spot, so... This would normally be the fight you would do outside of Mount Woe.
It's just busy work.
Yeah, basically, that's, like I said, the thing about boss rando in this is... The early bosses can be substantially harder, but the end bosses get substantially easier. Once we get to Zeal, though, it's gonna go back to having the same kind of difficulty you would expect. That thing's basically dead. We'll do that. I think the red one's weak to ice. I think the blue one is strong to it. I can't remember.
I mean, 2,700, that's a pretty...
Yeah. We've also dumped a whole bunch of magic tabs into Moral. She's absolutely crushing it. Normally the Mud Imp runs away, but we're going to punch him because I don't like him. I don't like his smug little face.
So much damage. That just immediately healed.
He's so smug. He's mean, and I don't like him. And he immediately heals if you do that. Oh yeah, no, just mentioned, it's all fun and games until you fight double Dalton plus in the Golem slots. Yeah, that twin golem fight, so, it's the twin- they call it the twin fight. It's the fight that happens, right at the end of, Ocean Palace. Normally it's 2 golems. It's just a twinning of the golem fight. In this, they've replaced that with 2 random single object bosses. So you can get any of them there. It's absolutely terrible, especially if you get something like Flea Plus. Or
And I was
you
about
get
to
someone
think
like
of
Dawn Plus.
Flea Plus. You ended up mentioning that as a huge obstacle.
Yeah, Flea Plus is a huge problem in that fight. We're not gonna waste the damn, gonna do that. Yeah, Flea Plus is a massive, massive problem in that spot. Mostly because you then get spammed with attacks of, like, she does an attack where one of your party members attacks the other 2 and themselves, and it does damage based on their weapon for scaling. So, endgame equipment, really powerful. If she picks Chrono, it'll just kill everyone in one shot. Hey, look, more panels. Who doesn't love more panels?
Panel.
Yeah, Dalton Plus is a terrible person in that spot. Getting Slasher 2, or whatever, I think it's Slash Plus. Same thing. There are a lot of single-target bosses that are late game that are a big problem. Huh. That is a thing I did not realize, that if you have a party member down, that Flea will not counter with a stare. Good for mixing in something like a Doom weapon and building that in as part of the strategy.
Well, while we're fighting the panels, another interesting thing about the battle system in this game that I don't think you've utilized in this run is that some, like, AoE attacks are not, like, full screen, they just have, like, a small little area, and so depending on where the enemies are and what enemy you use it on, it can hit multiple enemies that are around the same spot.
Yep, we used Area Bomb earlier, which does that, but yeah, for the most part, we've been doing regular old AoEs. And welcome to Zeal 1! So we are at the first part of the final boss fight. We're gonna fight Zeal, then we're gonna fight the Mammon Machine, and then we're gonna fight Zeal 2. So,
Yeah.
we are right here at the end. Once we clear Zeal 2, that's time. And we're gonna do Confused 2. We're gonna have Robo do a full heal at this point, because obviously we're all just hurting real bad. I mentioned this earlier because I didn't think we were actually gonna go this way, but yeah, that particular attack is brutal. And this is one of the main reasons we kept Robo this whole time. Aside from Uzi Punch being very, very powerful, AoE heals. Again, one of the most important things for doing this randomizer and doing it cleanly. Use.
Yeah, Zeal can be rough even in, like, vanilla, so...
Yeah, and we would be considered under-leveled for this fight in vanilla, but we do also have substantially better gear than we would normally have. I mean, you should have, like, real strong endgame gear, but some of our stuff is above and beyond, especially with the item randomization. Alright, so now we're fighting the Mammon Machine. This thing is going to power itself up based on the types of moves we do. So attacks increase defense, we're gonna use Ice 2. We're gonna use Shock. Its attack power is gonna go up when we do magic attacks. It's eventually gonna release that energy, but before then we're going to use a Mega Elixir. And we'll have Robo do that. Actually, we're gonna... Nope. I fumbled the menu, and that did not give us the time to do that. And we did not survive. So we have to do Zeal again. That's fine. That was my mistake. I took a riskier path, and it did not pay off. It's fine, though.
It happens. Rando gonna rando.
Yep. Yeah, if I hadn't fumbled that menu, we would have been fine. Typically for the final boss fight, it's also pretty customary for a lot of people to turn down their combat speed. So if you drop from 2 to 4, that gives you a lot more reaction time. It also makes the fight take a little bit longer, but at the same time, if you're at the end already, you've basically gained the most maximization you're going to get out of that anyway.
Which is kind of the strat for going to fight Zeromus in Free Enterprises. A lot of people turn their battle speed down, and some people turn it up.
I always did it too. I found that to be a comfy medium between. I used to do 1, which was a mistake. Just flatly, it was a mistake. Even the task can't keep up with it at that speed.
I generally sit at about 2 from the beginning of the game, then I might bump it up to 3 for Zeromus, but...
Yeah, I set 2 at the start, and then I usually keep 2 the entire way. Sometimes I'll bump it down to 2, 3, or 4 at the end if I'm, like, really struggling to keep up. Especially if my agility anchoring's broken, but that's... yeah. It really heavily depends on the agility anchoring.
And then sometimes you just have to be on Wyvern Standard Time.
Oh, Wyvern. That thing is something, alright. Who doesn't love a Mega Nuke? Yeah, so now when it releases that attack, it's not going to do enough to kill us.
So I'm right in assuming that the final boss that would normally end up being Lavos into the thing behind Lavos, that's just completely omitted in the randomizer, right?
Okay, so the Mammoth Machine is the lead up to... so when you go to Ocean Palace, the Mammoth Machine is what summons in Lavos. And through the story, the characters destroy the Mammoth Machine while summoning Lavos in, which gives them an attempt to fight Lavos at that point. If you go to the Black Omen, the Mammoth Machine that's been destroyed is still there. This is some, like, weird Shadow Realm nonsense, where the machine is still doing its thing. It's entirely designed to siphon energy off of Lavos. And we beat it, so it's done.
Yay!
So now, we're going into the final fight, which is Zeal 2. We cannot use AoE for this fight. AoE, not a thing we want to do. Problem with AoE attacks is they will hit everything, and the hands will counter with really, really potent stuff. One of them just takes all of your MP, the other one takes all of your HP. So you have 1 HP left. So basically, we gotta punch the face, and only the face. Don't punch anything else. And the first thing we're gonna do is pop a Mega Elixir to stave off the other 2 dying immediately. Okay, I'm gonna call an audible and just not res her. Because, honestly, her single target ice damage isn't gonna do that much. And it's way- actually, you know, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use- I think I have Raise. I do have life, good. We'll bring her back, never mind. Makes sense to do so. Just for item usage and for other certain things, it makes sense to bring her back at this point. If I had to use an item to bring her back, it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah, it's amazing, like, what they were able to do graphics-wise on the Super Nintendo later on in its lifespan.
Oh yeah. Absolutely incredible. And you're also talking about one of the most accomplished artist groups in this NES's, timeline. Like, the fact is, you have Akira Toriyama doing all of the nonsense he always does. But with, an excellent group of people to work with. And you can see, like, just some of the animations they built into the background and the fact that they had those specific layers the way they were, it's just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, like, compare this to the final boss of, you know, any of the Final Fantasies on SNES. Well,
Oh, yeah.
the final boss of 6 was pretty damn good, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is... Well, let's face it. There is a bunch of Final Fantasy VI's DNA that's in this. Like, because they were fresh off the release of 6 when they did this. There's a lot of choices they made there that carried over.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to... Usually I save the Mega Elixir for that, but we'll be fine. 100% sure we'll be fine. We need Robo to do Heal Beam as soon as possible.
Go, Robo, go.
There we go. We're good. Yeah, that's a very, you know, clenching kind of moment right there. Now, why him? Alright, what you gonna do to Elixir on him? Yeah, I would imagine she's probably only got a couple hits left in her. I could check, but it just makes more sense to just assume. Also, the time doesn't stop when I'm in the attack menu, it only stops when I'm in the text select menu or the item select menu. Or wait, so... using the sight scope by selecting a target doesn't actually stop time, as it were. But we're in a good position at this point. I'm reasonably sure we're gonna finish this in the next couple of hits. That's Zeal 2. Alright,
Yeah.
that is time.
GG.
GG!
Excellent. Yeah, so that was Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. That's the rando. Again, it's a lot of fun. The settings you use can sort of dictate how long it takes. So, like, these settings are designed to be pretty quick. Take you, anywhere from, like, 2.5 to 3 hours. Jetty Seed's as short as 220, but, yeah. A whole lot of fun. If you like Chrono Trigger, I highly recommend taking a look at it. It's a really cool seed. Really cool, game.
Also, Chrono Trigger, has several endings to it.
Yes. 13? I think it's 13.
Yeah. A lot of them are, like, involve fighting Lavos in New Game Plus earlier than you should in different spots, like, in the game's progression. But yeah. And I think they added another one for the DS version. I don't remember.
What was the final time on that, by the way?
I'll need to end up going back onto the actual Twitch channel for that one. It's listed as 2:57:02.
Oh wow, that was a little bit longer than I was expecting it to be. That's great.
Underestimate.
Underestimate, yeah. And this is why I picked 3 hours. We had a little bit of struggle at certain points. We also had a progression path that wasn't. It was clear, but not as clear as it could have been. But yeah, turned out really well.
You all definitely had a blast. Though, let's also ask the most important question of this entire thing. Where can they find you?
I stream 3 nights a week on twitch.tv/GrayGooGirl. I do randomizer content during the week, so usually Monday is Metroid stuff. Wednesday is most of my mainstay randomizer stuff, so Link to the Past, Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger, all of the ones that I typically run. And then on Sundays, it's Free Play Sunday, so I just play whatever I feel like. Today it was Dark Souls randomized items, so yeah.
And what about dijonketchup? Where are we expected to find you online?
You can find me at twitch.tv/dijonketchup. I don't have like a set schedule because what I stream just depends on a lot of factors around home, but I stream a lot of different things. I've been doing like playthroughs of games, getting like all the achievements and whatnot. I do a bunch of speed runs of a wide variety of things: Pokemon, DuckTales Remastered, Lollipop Chainsaw, etc. So yeah,
Now that is a great assortment right there, and I am with you with the flexible stream schedule. Life just throws what it should.
yep.
It be what it be. But
And
either way,
my spouse
uh,
and I share an office, and they have an actual job, so sometimes they have to take the office, so I can't use it.
well, talking to people in the office, this is where we'd end up taking our outro out of here, but it's actually going to be a very brief break. We will be back with some announcements, so don't go anywhere. This is Lady Arcadis, Attract Mode. Alright, welcome back for the last time on this fine Sunday's Attract Mode. We have some final things to end up bringing up with you lovely, lovely people here in the Twitch chat. So, the next time, on December 14th at 9 PM Eastern on Thursday. So, we have Professor Bunnius Bunrina going back in with another Enlightened Reds, this time on Submachine. Are you ready to get schooled? Then, yes! Head over there at that scheduled time and see what would end up getting fished up. I mean, puns. Nice? Yes, nice. Okay. As a reminder, we also have the Lady Arcadis Game Awards. If you're part of the community and want to highlight a game you loved, please fill out our nomination form. !LA Awards in the chat. And since this is the first time we're holding the awards, feel free to suggest a category as well. Nominations are open from now until the 18th of December, aka next Monday. Submissions for Attract Mode showcases are always open, and we all love to have you on show in any game you love. So it can be just about anything. So send it over at ladyarcadis.com/start. So go ahead and go for it. And make sure to stick around, because we have a raid coming up. So we will make sure to get you nice and sorted with that one. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your weekend, evening, morning, time zone, everything. Take care.